Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to Ascalon again. That's where I'm standing. Hello, Clock. Hello, Cheese Cube. Hello, Soul. Nice to see you guys. So, um, this stream, Dwagon isn't quite feeling up to it because they have scheduled streams with their stream partner on the same day. So, I'm gonna do some like steady, quiet progress of my own. They can always like hop in if they feel like it, but I'm just gonna focus on like getting some stuff done. And to that end, I finally did the thing where you just talk to Devona and you get her as a hero and you have to level her up, so she's like level 5. But I then realized at the same time that when we like brushed past Mox that one time outside of Lion's Arch, that gave me access to him. Is he a male robot? I don't remember. But I can just use Mox now, and I didn't even realize I was throwing like heaps of garbage. What's your name again? Stefan. I don't need this anymore. I have a robot. I don't know why I don't remember anything about this. I don't remember how Mox functions or why you get given him. I have no idea, but I do. So, given that, I don't think this guy's name is Dr. Cigarettes. Dr. Cigarettes, no! No! Okay, well, that was the best name of any character I'm gonna see in the game. They call me Dr. Cigarettes. Anyway, given that I now have a level 20 character in my party, I do believe I will have more luck if I try doing Tunnels of the Forsaken again. God, Mox is a big robot. Come on, Devona, let's level you up. I don't really remember how skills and equipment work on heroes. I've just started gathering again, like, the idea of this. Yeah, fuck him up. Fuck him up. He's my son. He is my son, and he's helping. I'm kind of not. Where's Devona? Oh, she was there too. Okay. Finally a doctor worthy of treating my very sickly toddling. Will we as a society ever recover from baby needs smoko? Will we ever just like move on from this? I hope not. I should also really look into figuring out elite skills, because I have every elite skill, I think, because I farmed all of them back when I did I don't remember the name of the title, but I did the one where you get a certain amount of experience without dying, and I did that by farming every single elite skill in the game without dying, as well as some other stuff, because you get like 5k every time you do it. So that was how I managed that. So I know I have like all the elite skills, but I do not remember. Like I figure you can just have one of them. That's the idea. You get one really funky skill. So I need to pick one. Hello, Soul Wasman. I appreciate it, but I don't know about the nickname Big Bean. Nothing inherently wrong with it, but that's an interesting one. Girl, but like baby needs smoko. I mean, true words never spoken. Okay, well, let's see how my level 20 robot fares against these goddamn bastards. He's just hitting me, which is... Okay, this is the one that makes him take damage on hits, and I didn't get it off. Beanie needs smoko. Mega beans. I don't know. My childhood was just the Venga bus, basically. You haven't lived if you didn't grow up in my specific era of pop music said everyone ever. Okay, I'll hang back, I'm dying. Mox, why are you need to take more damage. You should be taking the most damage at level 20. The Overbean. Okay. Overbean needs Smoko. How many more variations can we get on this? Alright, well Devona is kind of understandably low on health, so we do need to like protect her a little bit. But this is a lot better than having a team of level 8 henchmen. Devona, how do I... Can I see like when she will level up? No. Can I see her stats or something? Is it in... Okay, then here... I don't know. Well, at least we got her. I'm so fond of Devona. Not for any particular reason, because I don't know any, like, character moments or anything. Just because I know she's in the sequel. And she's got a fun role in the sequel, and I killed her in the sequel. And I think that's fun. I mean, killed, it's a strong word considering the state she was in. You know? Alright, do I want that? Not really. I'll have the money. Clock, you have said, literally, that is something, that was like in the back of my mind. That was like, it was kind of an intrusive thought in my mind. Do I have, hang on, I'm just checking. That's this. That's flag for the entire party, which doesn't work? What were my buttons for like individual flags? I don't remember. My brain had to cook on that one. No, I think there was a little bit of me that was like, Palawa Smoko the whole time. I know that, God, I used to do this. How do you do this? I used to place my heroes around like this. This is how you win. I've just remembered this. Okay, I can't... Ah, okay, it's only the two of them. They seem to have picked... What? I told you to stand there. Why did you move? I literally told you to stand there, guys. Alright, fine. I might as well remove them. Alright, this isn't going that much better. Mox is dead. Oh no. How did we aggro every single one? How did we aggro every single ghost? I was placing flags just like in here. Okay. Well, maybe if they... Oh, alright, well maybe I can take these ones down. No, doesn't look like it. Why can't I remember that? I know I used to place individual flags for party members. But I don't remember what my shortcuts were. It just says 1 and 2. Does that... Nope, nothing happens. Okay, well I basically died. So maybe I actually can't do this. Which is a shame. I was so confident. I really did not want to bring 16 ghosts down on us all at the same time, and I don't know who did that. Also, I thought that if I placed the flag there, they would stand there and let enemies come to them. I did not want them running out into, you know. Okay, if I revive you... Oh, God. If I revive you and then tell you to stand here. There we go. Did someone hit you with something? Okay. She's kind of... they don't like you to get a good angle on them. Oh, there's this... Didn't remember that. This gives you like diseases. I didn't realize that. Were you guys all standing in that? Okay, Mox is up and everybody everywhere is trying to kill me. Go over here. Devona doesn't matter. She's level 5. She's not doing anything. Okay, let's try picking off this one ghost. And don't stand near me. And Mox is standing in the fucking stuff that kills you. Okay, we're killing a few of them. Okay, and this one. That's a necro. Okay. Alright, that's a few of them dead. Okay, what are you doing? Mox is, for some reason, a dervish. So he doesn't equip a weapon because he's a robot, but he uses skills like a scythe wielder, which is funny. Okay. Mostly just ghosts. Okay, everyone's back on their feet. They probably have like the debuff. Oh, they don't. Wait, does it show up there if they have the debuff? I don't know. I know I used to like press a sequence of buttons and spread the little flags around, and now I don't know how to do that. Okay, one at a time. Oh, got it. Okay, next. Uh-oh. Okay. Next. What's fractured? Is that a warrior? Oh, no, that was the necro one. Okay. That's a warrior. Oh, no. A fruitcake? I didn't know we had, an event. This one. Okay. Hopefully this is the only room that poses a challenge. Oh shit. Okay, oh wait, there's one up here. What are you, a ranger? Yeah, I think that's a ranger. Yeah, smash. Go smash. Thank you, Mox. Okay, we be smashing, essentially. Hold off the waves of furious spirits. Well, that sounds like not a good thing. I barely like made it into the room. Okay, where's this pyre? I should probably kill these groups. Oh no, don't do the pyre. Don't actually do it. I need to take care of these things. Okay, this one's level 7. Okay. Oh, hi. They've noticed us. Get off my healer. Okay. Oh, she's really struggling. All right. They're being revived. Who's reviving them? Who's a healing ghost? Oh my god. Who's... I don't see anyone. They're all furious ghosts. And that's not a healing class. So, what? What's gonna happen? Are they just gonna get revived forever? Did we accidentally start the waves of ghosts? Maybe we did. Oh, maybe we did. That's why they're level 7 and, okay, so I have begun this thing, so I'm gonna have to stand here. Limp faster. Okay. Okay, well, we're doing alright. Let's zoom out. So if I wanted to do this properly, I would... Oh, that's bad terrain. Let's put you here and you here. You need to just spread them out. The general gist of the gameplay is don't stand in one place. Okay, good. Okay, Devona died. I can fix that. Okay, the healer died. That's worse. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We were doing well until I started trying to strategize it. This may not work. Mox was still doing a good job there. Devona is like, I'm gonna fucking murder these guys. Don't try and stop me. I will have my revenge. Devona, no. They're ghosts. You can't take revenge on them. It's like Moby Dick. It doesn't work. You're gonna walk. Yep, she's got. Yeah, look. Okay, I can't see her debuffs, but everyone's walking through this stuff. Oh, my bad. It's because they had flags up. That's why she was running full tilt back there. That's my bad. Why is he missing bubbles? Don't do that. Okay. Why don't I just let them do their own thing? Whenever I try and get involved, we just seem to do worse. Hello, Furious Ghost. Let's all stand here together and kill them. Maybe if we just stand here and let the pyre tick down, they won't notice us as much. Oh, no, no, there we go. I'm standing in it. This is a tricky one, like, in general. What do you have to do to get frozen ground this early? Oh, a thought you had. Based on the when, are we going to have an unimprisoned and sane Abaddon? Wait. Wait, I have to consult my brain. I mean, yeah, it's weird that didn't... Oh, we did it. Okay, cool. It's weird I didn't even think about this. Hang on. The only thing... I remember that they've just deposed of Doom in that time period. So they now have replaced the god of death with Grenth. That's... I think... Because they just described a bit more about the setting the other day and they pointed that out. So that's when it is set. Did I not think about this? Me, the person who doesn't shut up about Abaddon? Did I actually not think about being able to meet him and... Okay, wait. Consult the sacred text. No, I'm cross-referencing. So the whole idea of the setting as they've described it in 3 is gonna be that it's before the major races of Eteria received the ability to conduct magic, and they have a whole system built around getting around that. Like, they couldn't make it so that your character could use magic because that very deliberately has not yet become possible. Yeah. So if they haven't received the ability to use magic, that was the thing that, you know, caused the big rift between Abaddon and everyone else. So yeah, he should still be there and be normal. Why didn't I think about this? That's really strange. Thank you for like pointing that out. I'm really excited to get to interact with Abaddon. In fact, I'm going to be an Abaddon disciple. That's what I'm going to do. They mentioned Dwayna and... was it Melandru specifically? Okay, there is a... what is this for? There's a thing there. Do I have to go to a different floor or something? Where is that? Where am I supposed to go? Oh, right, that doesn't work. Well, there is a resurrection point down here, so I'm gonna go look in this direction. What else did they say? Yeah, they can't have the character actually use magic because that would be a retcon, and they are sticking to maybe that thing's just like in the middle of the area and you're supposed to ignore the exact location of it. Just get off my healer. So instead you're using little gem items that contain magic that you can use. It's a loophole. The loophole is that you can use magic through like a certain kind of applicable item. It makes me think of Diablo for some reason. I'm not really sure why. I think it was just the idea of like socketing a type of power into a weapon or whatever, which just gave me an impression of that. The funeral pyre is not getting put out. Okay, now it is. I'm not doing too bad, but you need... Mox, you need to defend our healer. Did they say anything else about the playable races? No. There was a piece of artwork that was really nice. I popped it in our Discord in the Guild Wars thread. And the artwork had... It depicts a lot of what looks like humans and Coden again. So they really seem to be heading into this idea that Coden are they're big players in this. Which, like, okay, alright. It looks like, well, they're going to be playable. I don't really care about that specifically. I've always liked Coden as an aspect of the world, but I never thought they were, like, a huge deal in terms of playability. So we don't know yet, but I am of the opinion that they are simply like holding cards to their chest right now about who's going to be playable, and there's probably going to be, it'll probably be humans, Coden, and then at least 3 more races that we just don't know of yet, and they'll keep that for a potential big announcement down the line, which means they can only show concept art that doesn't include those races. Maybe either the Coden are playable, or that's not a pun. They're a placeholder because they want the world to look visually varied, but they know they can't. Wait, this is just a fire. Okay, where's the next one? Oh, I keep doing that. They aren't able to put other races in focus because they want to make it a kind of big deal, a big surprise, get some clout off of the announcement. That's a big crystal. So they're hanging back on that, and in order to fill the scene with, like, the artwork scene for when they do these announcements with something... Why did you walk up there? What? Something that implies, you know, it's gonna be more than just humans. They're just putting bears in everything. Which I think is funny. I think it would be even funnier if we are not getting playable Coden. Drupal wouldn't be alive then. I don't think Quaggan lived that long. What if Quaggan are playable? No, I don't think so. I think if the playable races besides humans and Coden were... oh, hey, Beta Bash. Welcome to Lore Yap 2026. I think if if they were having a playable race in 3 that we already knew of, they would probably have put that. They would have put that up front because they're doing humans and Coden. Like, if it was a Quagon or something, they could just show us that right now. It's probably all stuff that we have no idea about. Who was active in those days? I'm thinking, I don't know, it can be weird. It can be weird stuff, but they can't use things that inherently rely on magic. I don't know really. What's the name of the underwater winged race? I always forget the name of them. Whose culture relies on the idea of assassination contracts. Just kind of sidestepping the allegations there. The armored figure in the front looks very short, maybe dwarves. I think it seems probable you could easily do dwarves, and there's a tiny bit of me that's like, I enjoyed having this setting as like being a little bit too good for dwarves. Like, they got rid of them and then we got to do stuff with a bit more flavor, the same way that they don't have elves. I always prided myself on playing a fantasy game that was intentionally doing something different, and then they were like, no, we do have dwarves. In fact, we love dwarves. We just kind of murdered them all, but we love dwarves so much. What is this? This isn't a pyre, this is some kind of... Okay. I am very happy to be background noise while things are being worked on. Oh my god. Oh, that was dazed. Okay, right. Well, let's see if we can find this... Oh! Jeez. Is that it? Is that the pyre down there? That's a lot of them. Is there a race you'd want to see playable in 3? Wait, why are they not reacting? Do they not realize that I cast that spell on them? That's kind of baffling. Let's do it again. It didn't come from a direction, it's just underneath them, so they're like, oh, what happened? Bro's got gigantic... Oh, it's probably an Asura. Sorry, I haven't mentioned Asura this whole time because I forgot they were in the concept artwork, so we are having playable Asura, like, for sure, but that... I don't know why. I think I would almost rather not. I like Asura very much. I guess they're gonna have to explain why the hell they're even present, that's all. Asura are probably the aspect that they decided to keep when they were like, well, we're not having some of the races everyone likes. What would I like to see? I want to see... Why can't I remember the name? What's the name of those guys who are aquatic and they wear breather masks? I don't know if they actually breathe in them. They seem aquatic and they have these big stripy wings. And people really like them. I think that would be maybe fun. Like, just, like, you could swim around as them. I don't know, they're kind of an interesting looking race. I always enjoyed that they just didn't put elves in this setting. It would feel really weird to have elves. It doesn't mesh with how they seem to enjoy putting in a lot of variety. The closest thing they have between races are humans and Norn, and Norn are they're quite different just by having different builds. You know, none of these races they're humans, but they have different ears, and that's why I'm glad they didn't put elves in it. It really wouldn't feel like it fit. Especially with the way in current pop culture, elves are just used as a stand-in for an idealized kind of human. Norns are idealized humans. They're the humans that got swole, you know? We could get playable giants. We could. That would be interesting. I don't know if I'm for or against that. That would be interesting, though. That would be very close to humans and Norn as well, is maybe the thing. Maybe as a Norn stand-in. I don't know. I don't know how much you could technically, like, customize them. Or maybe I'm just being racist. I should make down some notes about what I actually want to see for the prequel, and one of them is the same thing I demand in every game, which is that I want Razar to be there. I don't think that's possible. I think Razar was born close to the timeline of this game, I think, which means wouldn't have been born 1,000 years ago, which is a shame. You guys, what are you guys doing down here? Also, hello, Defed. We're discussing what we want to play as in Guild Wars 3. And I can't remember the name of... Hang on. Hang on. Mox, do this while I Google something. Oh god, I can't remember any names of anything. How am I doing? Am I winning? What is the name of that raid where you go in the Mystic Forge? Come on. Tell me, Wiki, what is it? Why doesn't this detail it? Mithrite Gambit. What's the name of the second boss in Mithrite Gambit? Largos. Largos is what I was trying to remember. I just got to my parents' house after 6 hours of driving. Ouch. Are you okay? I've never done that. That sounds pretty rough. What? Is this going to be in some location that was absolutely obvious like a million years ago? You're fine. Oh, good. What is that area? This is near the beginning now. This way? I can't seem to access that. Where am I going? That's the gate to the second level. I remember that from the pre-steering version. Is there anywhere in Britain that is 6 hours away by car? Yes. If you drove from somewhere in the south, which is where I am, and you went basically over halfway up north, I think that would be over 6 hours. Not many people do that. Driving is definitely not really a long distance option that we use, because you would just take a train. You wouldn't be able to carry as much, but it's just ridiculously more convenient. So yeah, you wouldn't do that. When I went by train, no, I didn't go by train. I looked into going by train to Scotland, and I ended up flying because it was like half the price. So why wouldn't you? That didn't take very long, but I did look up how long it would take to go in a train. And the train journey to Scotland was about 4 hours. Which is, like, pretty good. I was surprised that it only took 4 hours. But, like, I'm not spending more money to be on a train for 4 hours when I can spend less money and take a plane for 30 minutes. It was really short. I mean, yeah, like when you say, isn't it only 8 hours? Like, it's not something we know that well, because no one's driving that. No one is actually doing that journey by car, you know? If you have a metric in your head for how far away everything is by car, we can't really match the metric because we aren't. It's like how Americans need to describe everything using a burger. You need to describe distance using how long it takes in a car. Well, we don't know that so much. So there's a Furious Ghost there. Oh my god, was it right here? Oh my god. Yeah, it was right here. Fucking... Ugh. We also use donuts. Wait, do you? I don't know if I've ever heard a simile or something, or a description using a donut. Imagine if everything you ate got you sick. And by everything I mean the ingredients in a burger, etc., etc. Please recharge Chaos Storm faster. Please, please, please. Well, I'm doing okay with this, but I think I have to go down to the second level afterwards, and I don't want to do that. Because I'm barely holding it together, even with Mox. He's such a good robot. He's such a good robot. Oh god. Oh god. And they're all here, making me less efficient at recharging this funeral pyre. Why am I... What am I doing? The funeral pyre is... Ah, it's granting the spirits peace so they stop attacking. Okie dokie. Oh, she's alright. Okay, good. There's a mystery container of donuts next to me. I don't know who they belong to, but if they're still here when I leave them, I like to think you just sort of looked around and you were like, hey, we also use C's a pack of donuts, you know, like Mrs. Doubtfire picking her name. Come speak with me over here. Of course, Althea. Where are you? Auto run, woohoo! Alright, what do I do now? For all the dead fallen victim to this war, there are as many living refugees, yet clinging to hope, while Prince Rurik... Why is she... Okay. Prince Rurik and King Adalbern feud over military tactics and politics. Many Ascalonians seek only to carve out a place beyond the violence of war. I don't think there is one in this world right now, anyway. Where families can be safe, where lives can be lived rather than sacrificed. They probably did that on purpose. Yeah, we'll go to Kryta. We'll go to Kryta and we'll seek asylum there. A place beyond war where families can be safe, where lives can be lived rather than sacrificed. I venture to say that these departed spirits have done us a service in turn, for they have led us here to this ancient village. This is a village? We shall make of this place a haven for our brothers and sisters, in need of a place to lay their heads. Okay. Oh, we're done. Is there more to this? Hang on. I think that maybe there's another one. Let me check. Elegy. That's not how you spell that. Elegy. Does this have a second? Oh, it does. Pick up in Pike and Square. Go to Tunnels of the Forsaken again. You know what? This whole time, I remembered to pick up an igneous summoning stone, and I fucking forgot to use it. It's dire out here in my brain. All right, well, let's grab the next one, and then I'm not going to do it right now. I just want to grab it. That's exactly what I did. What you got the stone that they give you for being a good little pay pig, and then you just didn't use it. Who's got this quest? Oh, there he is. Stop pointing me towards villainy of Galrath. I'm... Ugh. Some refugees have set an encampment in the tunnels, and we got to bring them supplies. Well, I'm going to say yes, and then we will leave that so that every stream I will come back and, like, try more Tunnels of the Forsaken. But, oh god, Devona got to level 8. That's nice. That happened pretty quick. That was a lot of hard work we did there. Maybe I'll pick up other heroes. I don't know if we can get other heroes. I've got 2. I don't know. I'm gonna put them into Hammer Mastery. There you go. So she'll be slightly better, so we could have a decently leveled team minus the healer to make that a little bit of an easier job to do. Anyway, let's get back to the main story, which is we did Divinity Coast. We did the it's Bloodstone Fen. Now, looking at that mission, makes me really nervous. I have a feeling this one is... Okay, no, it's not the one I hate. It's not the one that I found really difficult. Alright, who's coming? Got our healer. You can come. And you can come. And yep, that does it. That's a pretty good team, I think. Mox should be pretty useful at this. And I don't need to do anything else, I think. So, are there any other heroes you can get during prophecies? I really don't remember. I played all these in the wrong order the first time, so I don't know. Locate Scout Rider. He'll take you to the Bloodstone, and we're using vine bridges to traverse the jungle, and now enemies are level 17. Oh, these elementalists are getting complicated. Why do I keep singing that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes I have random little snippets and I don't want to just like yell them. But why is it the fucking clown music? What's wrong with me? I really should be interrupting you guys, huh? Yeah, get fucked. Get fucked. My robot will deal with you. Okay, alright, the route hasn't diverged yet. Let's put the mission objective on. Okay. It was interesting, I've been replaying through... Oh, that was so badly timed. We've been replaying through, we did Secrets of the Obscure and now some of Janthir Wilds. And Janthir Wilds is kind of the... Oh, which way do I go? I don't think it's this way. This is a dead end. This is a dead end, yes. Janthir Wilds is like the Guild Wars 2 extension and kind of cap off for the whole Bloodstone thing, really. Can we see it from here? Can we see the Bloodstone? Yeah, there it is! So that is the Bloodstone. This is Bloodstone Fen. Can I just look at the map of it? This is Bloodstone Fen before the explosion. Excuse me, Mox. And that's the Bloodstone itself. It looks different in this game. But yeah, that's the one that Balthazar ends up absorbing. Alright, she gave us a huge seed. Oh my god, I didn't realize it looked like a mouth. That's kind of horrible. He's gonna head to the Bloodstone down in that clearing. The Mantle are taking the Chosen there right now. You need to catch up. Well, you could have... okay, so I drop it here. And it grows a bridge. And then I pick up another one. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Do. Pretty cool to look at. They changed the kind of the aesthetic of a Bloodstone, but it is fun knowing what happens to that thing in the future. And this telling you like the initial backstory of it, but I think the stuff that happens in 2 is a lot more relevant seeming for, you know, what a Bloodstone can do in a narrative. In this one, it's very much about they're sacrificing people on it, which does some stuff, which is fine. But if you've got a giant magical receptacle that's been storing magic for thousands of years, there's a little bit of like, okay, what happens if something befell that giant store of magic, which it does twice over. Like, for one thing, it explodes all of this, which is probably the first thing that comes to mind. I like that they always maintain magic as something that is genuinely dangerous in the same way. I mean, it's very much like a fantasy version of literal energy. It very much resembles energy, both in the fact that in this universe it follows the rule of it cannot be created or destroyed. It has there's a set amount of it, and if you have a lot of it, you become powerful, but it can be transferred from you. And if you want power, you can't, like, create it to make yourself powerful. You've got to get it from somewhere. And that's kind of the whole crux of the thing. Oh, which way do I... Can I see anyone? I mean, see, this is one thing I do like about this game. That looks cool as hell, by the way. This is such a cool view. But there's like a random like building. Like, people live here and you don't find out who that is, or you don't really meet them. But there's this constant implication that there is a world beyond you just kind of existing. And that's one of my favorite things about the design of a lot of the maps. I think they do it in every single one. It's a little different in Cantha, I suppose. But for narrative reasons. I got really scared by the aesthetic of Cantha the first time I saw it. What was I saying? Oh yeah, magic being like energy. And it basically is, because the usage of magic is you accomplish something that requires energy, but in a more direct way without having to literally do it. Which means if it's going to act like energy in the way that it cannot just be made out of nothing, and that it can accomplish things that require energy, it also takes on the properties of, if you have a lot of energy in one place, it can just blow up and kill people a lot. So it just makes sense in a physical kind of way, and it's always good to ground fantasy, I think, in some kind of... The Tree of Winds. It's gonna kill me. Okay. Snowman Summoner. One of the things this game does is it has occasional celebrations, holiday things. And I do not know all of them. But while the holiday is active, a lot of random drops could come from enemies, and that's what I'm picking up. That's where you get all of the consumables that I'm trying to grab for the big title. I want to get Gold Walking Amongst Mere Mortals by the end of this. But I don't play enough to pick them up on my own, so that's why I'm advertising that I'll buy them off people. Oh, level 18. We're almost hitting max level for this. Well, we're doing okay. Thank you, Mox. Okay, so the gameplay of this mission is basically you gotta find a seed so that you can make that bridge. And, okay. There's another one there. There's a lot of warthogs. Oh, these things are only level 12. Where is... Oh, Maguma is... It's never not been a struggle to navigate. It's not that other places didn't have struggle tweets, but if it was linear, it wouldn't feel nearly the same. They hide stuff. They've told me what I need to get, and now I have to go find it, but they're just like, okay, go run around, bitch. And I'm like, okay, I will. I don't remember a lot of this. Come on. Yep. Yep, there you go. Just smash it with your fists. Good job. Can I just send you guys forward to start killing? Does that allow me to be lazier? Come on, cast something. There we go. I'm using an interrupt build. You have to work with me here. What else could we have? Oh, I forgot about these things. They like hide in ponds. I think they're fun. I think that's a really fun design. Races we could have. So there's like really ancient stuff that I think they may be hiding for a big reveal. There's a lot of races in the Guild Wars universe. Can I climb this? Yes. That's so steep. Like, what if we could play as seers? I don't know. It clearly there would be like a power discrepancy between different human beings playing the game. But like, that would be fun. And since we were replaying Playable Choya, sure. Why? Yeah, what if they replace Sylvari with that? What if that's... There we go. So there's a bunch of them here. So if you have multiple people playing with you, you can just take 3 of these at once. I don't think you can order your henchmen to do it. And then you can't fight. The world's shittiest seer? That's real sad. But since we've been replaying that section, I now do remember that the seers were the ones who invented the bloodstone thing. And I should have remembered this because it's literally right there in... Wait, can I cast spells? Oh, I can. I'm fine, actually. Alright, put this down. Go back and get another one. What's the name of the... I keep forgetting. Visions of Eternity is about seers. So that's why it's on my mind. But it also quite obviously goes over more stuff to do with them. Go away. Including the fact that they... What was it? What? They came up with the bloodstone thing. The whole idea was they were going to pack a whole load of magic into a storage idea and then try and obscure the storage, which would mean that when the dragons turned up, which they knew was about to happen, there wouldn't be... Wait. Oh, I've been here. This is the route to get the seeds. I get it. Okay. They would be able to just like shove their giant ball of magic somewhere else so that they could keep it away from the dragons until the threat was over, and or use it against them perhaps, so they could do something about it. That was the general idea. First thing they did was invent shadow stones, which was a prototype for bloodstones, and I do not know what the difference is. I know there was a whole thing about it in Guild Wars 2, where you could be under the effects of a shadow stone, and there was a whole side quest about it, but it was years ago and I don't remember now. How long ago was the Jotun collapse? Well, the Jotun were one of the 5 races that got fucked up by the dragon rise before this one. Which means it was 10,000 years ago, because that's how often they show up. So that they were already long fucked up if we're only going back 1,000 years. Alright, we finally met the scout we had to go find. I'm supposed to take you to the Bloodstone, but the mantle wiped out my entire party and I'm not going back. Yeah, that so Jotun would have been interesting. It's not that they couldn't do it. It would just have to be, I don't know, there's only one Jotun that is still kind of in control of herself, and she only managed it by being in the Isgaran's Friends of Isgaran, which is code in this world for being gay. The Astral Ward. The Astral Ward would have existed because Isgaran's been around for like 1,000,000,000 years. And there's a lot of the very last of, oh god, wait. Don't make me go all the way back. Is there another, oh, I can go around, okay. What about the one Jotun in the Norn Great Hall? Yes, true. So, I mean, it's possible that you could have a Jotun that just happens to kind of be able to remember itself. You could do that. I don't think it would work as a playable race because then you're going to have a ton of them all over the place and it wouldn't feel coherent with the lore to have them be in large numbers. Why do I feel like this is the way I'm supposed to go? I have a memory of this. The Friends of Isgar, Tyria's longest lasting polycule. Is that not what he did? Like, genuinely, he was, for one thing, he was going around just picking up the last of so-and-so. Like, they have the last Jotun who can do anything. They have the last Masat after two plot lines involving someone who called themselves the last Masat, who was in fact mistaken. The last Masat in Tyria has been killed 3 different times. It's been 3 different guys. Oh my god, how many times am I gonna have to come back and get another one of these? So he's the last seer. He has the last Jotun who, like, is still of the original kind of Jotun and not the fucked up kind. And he's got the last Masat, and what else has he got? I would like it if they lead into it more. I think they should. Like, doesn't that feed into the way that Omnitas is kind of a giant... Oh, wait, that's not where I was supposed to go. The last dwarf, wait, that's kind of murky. Let me think. Yeah, he's... Hang on, who's the other one? Oh, you meant him as in, like, 2 characters. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah. The last fleshy dwarf until, Skywatch Archipelago happened. At which point, that got messed up to all hell. But yeah, that was the last flesh dwarf. I wish we had gotten more insight. Where the hell am I going? I wish we'd gotten more insight into... I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. Oh, I need another one. Do I need to go up there? Do I need to go that way? I think I need to go that way, and I think I have failed to produce a shortcut or something. This one just has a mechanic that's a little boring if you don't have multiple human players, unfortunately. So there's a few reasons why I always thought that Guild Wars 3 was going to be a normal sequel. And a few of those reasons were Skywatch Archipelago. And a few of the reasons tied into that were basically me being in denial that they would do that and then not explore it in the way that seems like you'd need to. So I legitimately thought that the whole point of Skywatch Archipelago was we've introduced a bunch of very weighty concepts here. Like in quick succession, the dwarves exist again, and not just as in like statues that will degrade and die out at some point. The dwarves were made unextinct. Zin exists again, which is massive. That's huge. And the society that exists around him was a legitimately successful one that probably beats out all of the canon ones. The whole thing. Wait, where was it? Were they Ratanovus? It was Ratanovus, wasn't it? It wasn't Arcanum. Waits for someone to tell me if I'm right. It's Ratanovus, isn't it? Because they have Chark on that island. And the whole idea with that was that they were gonna have an ideal society, and you're looking around it like, oh boy, another lost city. They would have done just fine if it hadn't been for the Chark turning up, attracted to their abundant magic, and then killing them all. And if that didn't happen, then they achieved utopia, I guess. Utopia mentioned. Oh shit, the White Mantler here. What other ones? All the dwarves back to life. Zin exists again. The one about, I've forgotten the name of it. The little town that gets cloned. That's not really of any consequence long term. The Maguma jungle, if Mordramoth hadn't been involved, that's not really got anything long term. It's just interesting, and I'm glad that's there. Like, I really like the idea of someone going, hey, what if that jungle hadn't been completely fucked up? It wasn't the jungle's fault. What if we just saw what happened to it? That's a fun one. Even though it doesn't really have NPCs in it, I like that one. I really need to look at it again. There is like a hidden area somewhere in Skywatch Archipelago that's really interesting to me, and I can't remember what it is. It looks like pre-Searing Ascalon, like a chunk of it. I can't remember why anymore. It was a couple of years. Oh, I leveled up. Yep, there we go. What other one? Oh, yeah, the one that's the desert, the Alonian area, as if Balthazar had won. That's not really a long-term consequence. You just need to, like, teach them things are okay, and they can just go back to real Alona. So yeah, it's kind of just two things. But I really did think that that map and that concept was a setup for Guild Wars 3, which was clearly not just being considered, but being formulated in some way. They were going to build on that, and it was like, okay, so if we do a time skip into the future of that world, dwarves can come back to prominence. Massive leaps of technology can be made because of the restored Ratanovus. There's a lot of things they could do with it, and that's what I thought the purpose was. And then they're like, it's 1,000 years in the past, and I'm oh, okay. Are you gonna do anything with that in Guild Wars 2 then? Like, I want them to do at the end of it all, at the end of Guild Wars 2, if that does come, I don't know. Like, they're still adding stuff to this one, but at the same time, the story's finished. So if they did finish the story, I want them to tell us what's gonna happen, like, in the near future.
I am the Scythe, the bringer of salvation.
Oh, that's what the guy in the raid says.
And I shall harvest the souls of the unbelievers.
That's why he says that. I forget the name of him.
For their stench will linger.
He doesn't say that bit.
Until the false gods have been cast from this world.
Oh no, they're gonna kill all those guys that we chose with the Eye of Janthir. Well, they're dead.
if it isn't our old friends. We thought you'd been killed by the Shining Blade, but I see we were mistaken.
We're on to you, Hableon. Your days of murdering innocent people end here.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. If anyone ends here, it will be you.
Get them!
Prepare
Difficult
to pay for your
to
sins, Hableon.
difficult to oppose this guy and think that he's really awful when Steve Bloom sounds that sexy. My god. What if Phlox ends up hurling the Skywatch fractals into the past in an effort to correct the fundamental flaw, and that's what kicks off Guild Wars 3? That is very, very clearly, I think, not that's on the right lines. If they're doing something funky with it, if they aren't just doing a straight-laced, no, it's just the same world but in the past, and it's more fantasy and magic based. It really seems like they're setting up what Vlox is doing to have something. Where are you going? What are you doing? Oh, hey there, Shades90. I'm in the middle of Bloodstone Fen at the moment. I think we're doing okay. I realized that I could use Mox, so he's basically doing it all now. It seems like whatever Vlox is doing is gonna tie into it. And I'm not making up the idea they're gonna tie these things together, because one of the really interesting things I'm so excited for, as someone who loves going to the same location in different games, this is the Bloodstone. This is the Bloodstone Fen Bloodstone. And in 250 years, this thing explodes, and then there's a giant tunnel underground where you get to see, like, actually, maybe it's not underground. Maybe it's here. Maybe it got covered up over time, and then there was, you know, you can stand on it. You can stand right here in Guild Wars 2, and then it explodes, and then a guy absorbs all the magic that's encased in this thing, magic that was kind of, you know, being fed by these souls of innocent people. And I like that. So the thing I'm really interested for is the fact that they said Guild Wars, which one was it? Guild Wars 3 is going to be set in Ore, as we know, and before it comes out, I think, or possibly simultaneously, they're planning to release a map in Guild Wars 2 in Ore over the same area. So potentially within the same time frame, we're going to have two maps, one in the most recent iteration of the game and one in Guild Wars 2 that is 1,250 years afterwards. And the only reason that they would do that is so that they can have elements that are tying together. I'm not going to say I'm hoping that things that you do in Guild Wars 3 will actually cause differences in your specific map. But they could do that. I'm not saying I think they will, because that may be a little over the top. But they will have, your accounts will be, like, tied together. We know that. We know they do account linkage, and I'm not hoping for it, but I mean, they could. It's a thing that could happen. I'm doing this so wrong. Take this and this. They can't do that in Guild Wars 1 because Ore isn't here anymore. So they can't capitalize on all three games at the same time. Come on, kill him. There we go. We did it. Hello, Blockhead! We're doing Bloodstone stuff. How did Ore sink again? We'll actually be getting to that in this game.
May your soul be lost in the endless mists, never to find rest.
That's a bit harsh. She sounded sexy. I love these so dramatic camera sweeps. I also really like the iridescent effect that White Mantle stuff has on it. like that. Like, is that
The
made
White
out of
Mantle have
bloodstone?
been called once again to arms. There are betrayers among us. Those who would masquerade as
Who
our
is
friends,
serving cunt like
only
them?
to turn
Nobody.
and stab at our hearts. I have just received word that these traitors have murdered Justakar Hablion.
I think I mispronounced it as well.
Yes, my son. When these heathens attacked the White Mantle, they chose their fate. Now it is for us to deliver upon them what they have asked for. Kill them all! Yes, my son.
All right, hang on.
We will mete out justice
who is
and
voicing
take
this guy?
our vengeance. Leave no stone unturned. Find the betrayers. Find Hablion's killers. Kill them all.
It doesn't say. He sounds a bit like a centaur from the second one. I don't know. Hang on. Go on. Okay, list of VAs. Steve Bloom, of course, has got like the longest line. Do. Where is... Oh, we don't know. Okay, we genuinely don't know who that was. Okay. Hello, Whimsical Pickles. That man is... He's got a very customized model. I think he's... Well, I'm not going to say the main villain, because it does change a lot. Did they say Among Us? I didn't even fucking notice. What's my favorite shiny? I like a few, but I think if I had to pick, I'm gonna say Growlithe or Arcanine, because A, it's a really good color, and B, just as in what I've done with my life, I farmed shiny Growliths once because I really wanted one. I did it in, I think, Diamond. It was Gen 4. I think it was Diamond that I did that. And it took me like 2 days of playing to set that up. It was really, really... not just difficult. It was a very intense method. You had to learn this whole like style of play where you reset this counter and then set off a Pokemon detector that made grass patches wiggle, and you had to learn a mathematical pattern for which grass wiggles would be most likely to continue a chain, and then you had to chain, I think it was 50, something like 50 Pokemon, so only finding that one Pokemon in a row 50 times, I think. And once you got to 50, you could stop and just do encounters because you'd maxed out the chance level, and then you had a pretty decent chance of finding shinies. And I got 6 Growliths from that run, because once you've established the chain, you can just run back and forth until one comes up shiny. So I managed to get 6 out of it. But it took me a day of playing. Then I let my DS charge back up overnight without saving and closing because I'd lose the chain. And then the next day I continued catching them. It was really difficult. And I still have my Growlithe. It's an Arcanine now. I still have it, my shiny one. It's in Pokemon Home now. And the other Growliths I gave away to friends. But yeah, that's probably my favorite. Like, I've got a story about how much I wanted to get one, and it's golden. It's pretty good. We've been betrayed by one of our own. A traitor has given away the locations of the Shining Blade's bases throughout the region. We must warn Council of Valor outside of Ventari's refuge. I'll do it. I should really read the rejection dialogue because they always put something in there. This is the primary request, so that's what we're doing next up. If there's anyone who's joined in since I mean, that was a long ass mission. If there's anyone who's joined in who wants to hop in with me and play along for the next bit, please speak up so I can hang back and add you to the party. I'm currently in Quarrel Falls, a location I did not remember in any way. I love the waterfalls though, that's nice. They've always done really good waterfalls at ArenaNet, don't you think? Like, it's very simple, but that's a very pleasing effect. I think that's the only shiny I have ever really farmed with a determination to actually get one. And I think I made the best of it, like getting 6 of them. Not only did I farm 6 of them, I also did it with a... Oh, you used to be able to use the ability Synchronize to control the personality of what you caught. In that generation, it only had a 50% success rate, so most of the Growliths I was able to catch were adamant, which was the, you know, best personality for being a physical attacker, which is what I used it for. So I really thought that through. I had nightmares about being able to reach a chain of 50 and then realizing I hadn't brought my synchronizer, so I wouldn't be able to do that. As someone who struggles with anxiety problems, it's not like the funnest thing to do. I was genuinely like torn up mentally about trying to do it and get it right. All right, I'm heading off for my next primary quest. Destroy 3 groups of White Mantle Vanguard marching to Quarrel Falls. So they're coming towards me. I like that. I don't know. These older games sometimes they don't feel very natural, and I don't think this feels natural. There's these immense sculpted mountains all around you all the time, so that you have to take certain pathways, turning the area into more of a maze than an open map. And within those pathways, they have scattered foliage. Like, look at this. It's covering the path kind of in a line, which is sort of like they didn't want to put foliage on the edge of the path because that would literally be unnatural. That would be too sculpted. You'd be able to see that a person making a game did that. At the same time, they're all in a big line and there's no like underbrush. It's just individual bushes and plants. I just think it's an interesting thing to look at. Like you can see here that is the same plant twice, and this is the same plant twice at slightly different angles, and there's also several of that pink one a bunch of times, and the effect it produces is fine. It's sort of trying to pretend like someone didn't put them there, but at the same time it doesn't look like a real jungle. This doesn't look in any way like anything in real life, which I'm not saying I like or dislike it. It's just kind of, it's part of the fantasy of this world, I suppose. It doesn't look like our world. It looks like, well, you can tell it's designed because it's a video game. Galrath Slash? What's he got to do with this? Don't bring that guy up in my presence. I just think it's interesting. Like, you can't mistake a Guild Wars 1 screenshot for anything else. It's got such a strange visual effect with all of these immense mountainous walls on each side. They even did that one plant that we found last time that is right in the middle of a doorway and has collision. which is just really funny. Come on, down you go. Oh, I forgot to take the healer out first. That's my bad. Sorry, guys. I wonder what kind of necromancer the henchman is. Because unless they're doing the thing where they raise a horde of goblins every time we kill stuff, I don't notice they're there. Now, a sycophant is a mesmer. I like that. I love the individual terms that apply. You know, a knight is a warrior. Says it out loud so that I become more familiar with what I'm dealing with. Now that you've mentioned it, Clock, I am much more excited. I don't know how I didn't think about... I don't know, there's a bit in my head that's like, yeah, Abaddon just doesn't exist in any form. They got rid of him and he got deleted. And I didn't think about the fact that he'd still be there. I wonder if we'll get to embody the worshipping the gods in some way. Maybe not, because it would have to... that would be very human-centric. And may not cross over into the other races that you may be playing as. However, given that this is, you know, the human gods aren't... Do we know if anyone worships the human gods who is not a human? Because they're not gods in the religious, purely religious sense. They are legitimate, highly magical beings. And being highly magical, like, guys who literally exist in front of you, there's no reason why other stuff couldn't just start worshipping you, right? Like, why not? Oh shit, everyone died. What were you fighting? Was that one of our guys? I messed that up. What is... Is that Shining Blade? I think so. Okay, and then that takes us all the way to the next location. That was really just them going, okay, we got to get the player from one place to the next place. Give them something to do. Where are we now? Oh, that's right. This area is... I don't even remember if this correlates with anything in the second game. Is this where the Silver Wastes is? No, Silver Wastes is called Silver Wastes, isn't it? She asked as if people might know. I don't know. I think Silver Waste is an actual map, but it doesn't cover the same area exactly. And then you learn these things and you look back on having played Guild Wars 2 at the time that released, and you're thinking, oh, so people who played the first one were going like, oh man, we're gonna get to go back to the Silver Wastes and see it again, and you had no idea. This is very centaur heavy, I think. Where are we going again? Alright, we just have to go down here. If I'm remembering right, this being centaur heavy is what leads into... I think there's an outpost. The next place we go to may be Ventari's refuge. Which is fun, because Ventari's there in it. I definitely had like a fun little wait, really kind of moment the first time I went in there. I'm just clicking everything. I'm just clicking everything. Go, stop it. This isn't efficient in any way. Okay. Marvel at the magnificent vista of scenic next location, PA. What's PA? What's PA? Like, okay, I'm gonna guess Pennsylvania. Where are all my Americans in chat? Oh, that is what it is. That was a guess. Also, I know ad break has happened, so I do need to pull into a corner. We should be okay. We should be okay. Yeah, I know ads. I saw. Boo. That's not the right one. There it is. I don't know why I have these so far apart. Welcome to ads, everybody. I'll take a quick break. For 2 minutes while those run. I'm gonna have a drink. Sorry, you guys can't see it. I hope they keep doing this when I change back. But within the game, the healer just said something like, "I wonder who created this place. It wasn't Dwayna, for it contains none of her compassion," which is a fun thing to say. I think at this point in human history, they did believe that their gods created the world. They believed that it was. They didn't even know that they came from a different dimension. Or if they did, they thought that the gods created this world for them to escape into. I think it may be a retcon kind of situation where the human gods were supposed to be real and literal creator gods for the world, and then they maybe changed it, not sure. But in any case, it doesn't really matter because they're not present anymore. But the human characters believe, apparently, that their gods were the progenitors of all, which is interesting because it gives them that kind of superiority complex of being the only playable characters. Anyway, while she was saying that, behind them, Orion the caster guy started saying, "Why are we just standing around here?" He's doing it again, but he also started doing his dance animation, which was just bending his knees. So he's bobbing up and down with the dialogue like, "Why are we just standing still?" And I'm like, you could not be any more impatient. But I do like that the henchmen guys, if you just stand still for like 2 seconds, like if you needed to organize your inventory a little bit or something, they'll just bust out dance emotes or various other emotes. I like it, but it does end up throwing in a bunch of oddly comedic elements. I'm just describing what's on the screen. I'm sorry, I should be pointing out that I am offering a shiny rock and roller. We came up with a nickname, didn't we? I don't remember anymore. What did we say about this guy? Well, he's purple. I don't know how long this will take to find someone to adopt him. I'm not sure how popular Rock and Roller is, but he's here and he's doing a little dance as well, hoping that someone will take him home. So I'm just throwing that up there. If anyone doesn't know how the process works and needs more information, please don't hesitate to ask me what the hell I'm talking about. But yeah, this Pokemon is available to one lucky viewer. Okay, so what is going on over there? Some Devourers turned up. I don't know how they suddenly showed up out of nowhere. And one of them dropped a staff. I didn't even do anything. Everyone else killed them. Hungy. We didn't move, so I don't know how they got triggered from their hiding places, but okay. I'm trying to remember something. There was some sort of, where is it? Somewhere in Maguma, I believe there's like a really big, interesting looking tree. And I mean in this game. And someone, I know I've seen this on Tumblr, realized that location was like close to the border of, I want to say Dragon Stand. Oh my god, please. And if you go, I think you have to map break. I think you have to kind of map break, but I think Magoon was the easiest place to do that. They did that and then went out of bounds a little bit, and they were able to find a very similar looking tree in Guild Wars 2 in the same location. Clearly supposed to be the same tree, but it's not even visible in normal gameplay. And that's like almost creepy levels of, I don't know, that gives me chills a little bit. Like, did they start making something that was the same? Did they put it in there intentionally and then change the idea for the map, or just didn't work out and they restricted it? Why are all these devourers killing warthogs and making the warthogs hostile to me in the process? Whatever, I'm gonna leave them to their own devices. Oh, this is a White Mantle camp, apparently? What the hell is that logo? What is this the logo of? Are you casting spells on a warthog? I do like the warthog model. Like, look how lovingly warthoggy that is. Look at it. That was made by someone who respects the hog. This area looks so grotesquely dead. It is cute. You can adopt it as a ranger pet. That's the reason they're here. It goes all the way down there. Now, I believe this area, if I'm remembering right, I think this trench maps onto... Oh, cool. White Mantle and Centaurs are killing each other. I'm just going to walk right around. I believe this maps onto Dry Top in the area where we find a giant ley line underground. I don't know if that's intentional, but I do remember looking at the map and thinking this huge trench overlays with where that ley line trench is, so it does kind of make sense in a way. Why is your name Deep Root? White Mantle agents are at work in Reed Bog. I obtained some information about their plans. I don't eavesdrop. Okay. And this is my main guy. We bought them time. Gareth's support will be here shortly. Thank you. Whoops. And what else do you need? Urgent warning. Elder Gretchen is spearheading our efforts to unlock the gate to Den Ravi. That might be the main quest. That's the main quest. What's this one? I need you to speak with Vantari. Yay! He will not allow me into his refuge. Oh, that's right. He was a pacifist, and he was so pacifistic that he wouldn't allow guys who were at war with each other to enter. I mean, I don't think I count. I'm going in, but I just want to talk to him. Like, this was so fun. Vantari is such a strangely legendary figure in the second one. And I didn't even think, oh my god, he's albino. I didn't realize that before. I knew he was kind of whitish, but that's an actual albino centaur. There was a time once when humans and centaurs lived in peace, but that was long, long ago. I'm afraid I will not live to see such a time come again to Tyria. Well, you are all correct. Valor sent you to me, no doubt. I'm sorry, but I cannot involve myself in the political affairs of humans. I hope you understand. While we have been chatting, it seems your other friends of White have surrounded my refuge. I must remain neutral. And I like that they continued this, I don't know, this idealism that never seems to work out for him. In this game, he's like, this is his domain. He won't let people in if they are currently involved in aggression against other people. So the Shining Blade can't come in here, the White Mantle can't come in here because he's that devoted to pacifism. And that makes sense, but they don't really portray that as, like, objectively the best way to do it. It's literally just a tiny hollow. There's not much here that anyone could want. But he's clearly not going to be able to defend himself if the White Mantle wanted to come in here and just screw everything up. And that's kind of, it just sort of links into how it feels like he's presented in the second one, where, I don't know, he's left a legacy of idealism for the Sylvari. But that doesn't really work out for them either, because there are tons and tons of Sylvari who resent not being able to try and figure out life for themselves, because they've had such a stringent worldview impressed on them. So, poor Ventari, you know, it just never kind of works out for some reason. Should I do this since I'm already kind of killing them? Yeah, alright. Alright, I'll kill more people. Oh, there's already a bunch of dead Shining Blade. I probably should have just followed them. I like Ventari. I did start 2 as a Sylvari, and that formed pretty much the whole basis of my exposure to the world. And then I didn't even think about Ventari being alive in this timeline, being a continued reference to an existing character. But Aurora Glade, now that's the one I had trouble with, but when I say trouble, I mean I played it. I'm basically thinking about hard mode. Meet up with Gretchen Scout where? Oh god. Wait, should I go back? I don't know. I think I should go back. Which sucks because I left the map and now everything's respawned. I'm just gonna check. Is anyone I know online? No. Alright, maybe if I just hug one side. Nope, that gets you Devourers. Oops. Oh my god, Devona's level 12. I wasn't even paying attention to that. Okay, what if I leave you guys here and I try and make my way back? The centaur's there. Okay. I think if I get within sight of this... Do they notice? She has many attribute points and she's shouting at you in game chat too. Wait, is she? Are you joking, or does she actually say that I'm gonna die? Whatever, they can come get me. Was she saying stuff? Oh my god, she was! I didn't see that. I didn't see. Okay, well you can get really good at hammers, Devona. There you go. I didn't even notice. I'm ignoring it because it's usually just like, somebody won a PvP match. Woo. I'm sure there have been... Oh, she's dead now. I'm sure there's been some instances where I've gone too close to one of the spirits that the centaurs leave behind. And some other people do too. And then they realize that you are in range of it. It's basically a scout because it activates their aggro. So I'm so sure I've seen that happen. Okay, leave her alone. She's died so many times. Leave Devona alone. She's only here because I feel bad for her. In the first game, she's a stalwart ally and she's helping me, the main character, on my quest. And in the second game, she's basically enslaved and I kill her. And I like that. That's fun. I've often thought about doing some kind of investigative tier list. No. Just like summing up all the different ways that characters are able to be in the first game and then somehow still exist in the second one. And I'm definitely sure that the biggest number, if you did a tier of the most popular way to survive between both games, I'm pretty sure it would be being a ghost. Cause, oh my god, what happened? Devourers showed up. There's a lot of ghosts being killed at some point between this game and the next one, and then just being a ghost is not that hard to pull off. That's kind of like the bread and butter of being able to exist in both games. Humans obviously do it. There's a lot of pre-searing humans that got hit by the faux fire, and they're ghosts now. So that's a really big chunk of them. There's also dwarven ghosts. Thank you for the first time chat, Polyester Kyle. Guild Wars more like Ghost Wars. That's so true. When you get to Thunderhead Peak, there's a whole like retinue of ghost dwarves, and I'm pretty sure they are continuations of ones from this game. I think. By this game, I basically mean Eye of the North, right? Because dwarves aren't really in this until Eye of the North. Oh, thank you, Kyle. I hope I can call you Kyle. Yeah, I'm doing fine. We're gonna get a bunch of that unfortunate hot weather back again from now for the next like week, and I'm dreading it, and I'm too hot as it is. Other than that, I'm pretty good. In case you are a player yourself, this is an open invitation run. So if you or if anyone from chat wants to hop in and join the party, you are more than welcome. But in the absence of having anyone right at the start, I've just been carrying on with the storyline. Oh, let's get rid of this. Yes, a lot of figuring out what to do when you aren't like fully. Oh, that's a boss, and I'm dying. Oh dear! Come on, come on, come on! That was the wrong one. Wait, yeah, that was the wrong one. Never mind. A lot of it is just maze navigation. I never really like figured that what just shook everything. Yeah, hot weather is overwhelming. I'm one of the people who really doesn't like hot weather. Give me cold any day. I don't understand what it's like to enjoy or seek out hot weather, because to me, if it's cold, there's a lot of things you can do to make yourself more comfortable. You can put more clothes on, and you can use any heating solutions that you have in your home. It's not that difficult if you've got a few things about. If you're too hot, what can you do? I've got an aircon. It helps, but you can't take off clothes after a certain point, is what I mean. Hot weather update. Sound off. Who in chat is European, and how is the heat wave going? When we had 40 degrees, the sealant around our tram tracks melted. I do remember. Good grief. Awful. This shouldn't be happening. We need to cancel all weather until we can get a good look and decide what's going on. You can always add more layers. You can't infinitely subtract clothes. I don't think I want these seeds. It turns out it was worse than I thought, because all over the city, they're now ripping the tracks out of the road and replacing them. Well, that isn't great. That does speak to it being a pretty severe problem. However, the fact that they are already, after like a couple weeks, replacing those tracks speaks to I can't think of the word. But when I went to Germany, for sure, we basically noticed that they are some of the most insanely industrious people alive. You within the same week you might have a different skyline because they built new buildings. The amount of new buildings that come up, like, that was Germany. That was the Germany experience. We were always seeing construction cranes, and I mean, this was like in Berlin, literally in Berlin itself. And this was back in the 2000s. And that's how we saw the country, like, especially compared to ours. Over here, you don't get infrastructure really until it's collapsing. And even then, oh, this is the wrong way. Where does this go? Oh, that goes to Dry Top. Hello, Dry Top. Okay, I took the wrong route up there a little bit. You'd always see cranes making something, adding some buildings, setting something up. Over here, I've seen buildings just be derelict for decades. That's how I think of Germany. It's a place where they're always building new shit. So I'm glad they are doing something about that being, you know, melted. Okay, so I just have to... Oh, I don't like this map. Etin's back is like the worst. Is this... Hang on, no. This is too deep in Maguma, isn't it? Wait, is it? Bloodstone Fen's there. It's probably up here. I'm just thinking... Where, relatively speaking, is... What's it called? Hang on, I'm going to have my team attack these, and I'm going to look it up. Maps. I can't remember the name. I'm doing really badly with proper nouns today. Brisbane Wildlands. Which one's... Where is Brisbane Wildlands? Does it cover this area? Because I dislike this map in the same way I dislike Brisbane Wildlands. I don't really know why I think Brisbane Wildlands is my least favorite map in the game. And I don't think I could tell you why. I just don't like it. It feels like it takes forever to do anything. Even the beetle race takes way too long. We had a ton of bridges revealed to be way too old a few years back. They've been redoing a big one for a while now. Eee. But they will do it. And once they've gotten to it, it'll be okay. They've been doing it in halves so pedestrians still cross on the other side. Oh, the logistics of bridge repair? Oh, gosh. I don't know. That's scary. I don't know. How does one even approach it? Okay, we don't have to fight these. We're almost there. This area looks way nicer. Okay, where's this scout? Okay, snake bite. Or is it snackabite? We went all that way, and this window is so small. They call me snakebite. It's a long story. What's on your mind? The White Mantle already swept through here. I was sent to keep an eye out for any more coming through this area. There were too many, and we too few. Talk with Elder Gretchen in Aurora Glade. Perhaps Dinravi is not yet lost. And now we have to go all the way up here. Okay, I'm gonna leave you guys to fight. I'm going. Congrats on the burger, Defed. That's gonna be my version of, like, congrats on the whole. Congrats on the burger. Anytime I come back and I'm like, guys, had a burger. I want to hear a chorus. Oh, do I want a snowman summoner? I don't care. I don't think that does me any good. I want to hear a chorus of congratulations. Congrats on the burger. Trams are still using it too. They merge the tracks into one cross. I don't know how they're accomplishing this. It just tracks completely with what I already understood about German engineering. They just make shit just works. It may be broken, but they're making it work, you know? I'm detailing this efficiency with envy. Wait, which way is it? Is it up? Wait, that's, you can't go that way. Where is this? Kill the goddamn moss scarabs, please. Where does the burger go? It goes in the square hole? I don't know what shape your mouth is, but... that just made me think about, like, Wallace and Gromit. They have square mouths. That's what you'd call it, right? They have square mouths, but they don't even know what a burger is. It's tragic. Oh, that was the divide. I didn't even see it there. Okay, cool. We're in Aurora Glade. My least favorite mission in the game. Congruent with the fact that I don't like Brisbane Wildlands, apparently, even though I disliked it before I ever played this one. This might be less a Germany and more of a Britain thing. That is such a sad and accurate thing to say. That's genuinely upset me. Maybe that's right. Maybe I only went to Germany and saw this, and I was like, wow, they sure do build stuff fast. And it was really just that we are shit at it. And we are. We are really terrible at fixing or building anything. And that's because every single person... sorry, this is getting way too political for a stream, really. Let's turn myself around so I can talk to the camera. Oh yeah, China does insane construction stuff. Yeah, absolutely. The thing that's wrong with Britain, why this is a problem. In a word, it's corruption. In more words than that, it's like everyone has this horrendous out for themselves mentality. And everyone who works in the government is just kind of there to... the idea of actually making things work better is not what they're there to do. And I know that's not an us-specific problem. That's a problem with many corrupt governments. And it's not immediately obvious that it's corrupt. Like, they're not... I don't know. The Tories were pretty blatant about draining public money into private accounts, especially during the pandemic. The pandemic was, like, the biggest opportunity, because all they did was they'd have a mate turn up on their doorstep and say, hey, I've just today I've established a company that produces safety equipment, safety uniforms for medical staff, all kinds of things that you're going to need lots of for this pandemic. And the government went, great, you don't even have to come to tender. We're going to pay you £5 million to produce all that stuff that we're going to need. And the guy who was their mate goes, great. And then he, like, just fobs off a bunch of, like, stock that they already had that they got cheap. It was probably surplus from somewhere else. They just procured something. They didn't make anything. There was nothing produced. They just, like, threw a bunch of stock just so that something happened. And they got paid, like, £5 million. And then in return for having given them 5 million of public money to do basically nothing, the person then donated that money back to the party. And that happened multiple times, and it was always somebody who knows one of the guys in the Conservative government. And it's not any different with any other party that we could have, but they're not as shameless about it. No one did anything. No one is ever going to do anything about how blatant that was. Like, we literally know about it. A guy who was friends with them, if you go around their house, they've got, like, photos of them hanging out with an MB, and they just got paid tons and tons of money to do nothing of any worth, and everybody knows it. It's like... Sorry, I'm ranting. Sorry. All I know about British culture I learned from Monty Python. That's probably misleading because we're not that funny. I guess it's funny if you're on the outside and you want to laugh at us. Then yeah. Hang on, I need more drink. My voice is going early. Earlier on today, I started getting a headache because there was a very strong smell of something burning. Not in my house, but like coming from outside. And we don't have, we didn't have any like potential fires in the area or anything. And that was kind of unlikely to happen as dry as it is. We're not that prone to wildfires as much as like larger countries. So I was like, I was just low-key worried. I was like checking out, looking out the windows, like, I don't see smoke, do I? Why does it smell this bad? I don't think it was anything. I think it's kind of gone now. The government has been digesting itself since Thatcher. That is a really good way to put it. I love that. Digesting itself is somehow so apt. Selling a full state capacity, so now it can't do shit and has to rent everything. The West TM is going great. Like, you know those kind of guys that you're obviously referencing there, the people who go like, who identify themselves as curators of the West, capital W and all that shit. I don't understand being that kind of person, not because I'm just not that stupid, but I don't know how you can be so ignorant of how fucked up the countries like this are and how that doesn't deserve any kind of lionizing. No, I mean like they would capitalize it. These guys that we're making fun of. How can you look at any of this shit and be like well, I guess they don't. I guess they treat it as being degenerate and that's how it feeds into the return narrative. So I suppose they don't, but so sometimes I look at people who, sorry, this is just a real political tangent. Sometimes I look at people who are, you know, patriotic in any sense, and I just sort of sit there like, what are you proud of? What have you got to be proud of? It must be nice. It must be, I mean, you're probably happier than I am, I guess, but I don't think it's based on anything real, and I don't understand what you've decided is good about any of this. Sorry, I'm getting melancholy. This is why I'm playing a fantasy game. I don't have to think about this. I guess that was, you know, that gave some time for people to hop in if they wanted to join, but I don't think anyone is. Yell out in chat if you want to help me with fucking Aurora Glade. We have definitive data on the 1000 Kier Reich. Wait, what is that? Oh, I can determine with authority the exact length of 1 Kier. It would be fun to join. I haven't made any progress in prophecies. Okie dokie. If you do, though, if you do catch up in between streams, you are really more than welcome. I want to like grab anyone who happens to stumble in, and you can come just play the game through. This is a new character I started for the purpose of the stream, and we're just going through the whole storyline. It's 0.745 days per Kier. This is such a funny thing to do with people. It's like, you know how it started with Anthony Scaramucci? I'm assuming that's how you say his name. I've never heard people say out loud a lot of American things. And he annoys me because of that name. I only know how to say Scaramouche. Or Scaramuccio. The CDC website has been updated to say we can't say for certain the vaccines don't cause autism. I saw that. I know I don't need to preach to the choir or anything, but there are people. We all know what's wrong with that. It's nothing to do with whether or not that does happen. Like, clearly that's an ideological decision that's been made, but the whole point of asserting anything from an official capacity is that you cannot. The burden of proof is on someone who asserts something. The burden of proof is on people to prove that vaccines are causing something like that. That's the whole thing. You can't start from a position of believing that and then say you have to prove it doesn't. And I know we all know this. Everyone knows this. I don't have to explain it. It's perfectly obvious to like pretty much everyone. It's just that we're all being ruled by idiots. How much can I say on Twitch without being banned? Am I allowed to talk about?
Honor me.
Oh shit, she had like a line. Hang on, this is an elder. This is an elder. She looks about 26. She's got the lips done now. What do you mean, elder? I know that Guild Wars 2 does this as well. I remember following a woman around Divinity's Reach at one point, and it just said old woman, and she was literally like a 29-year-old lady with grey long hair. And I was just like, sure. As far as we know... Wait, what? American flag, blue, green. I can't pass this. Elder equals older than 30. It feels like it sometimes. Points to aforementioned back problems. Her face feels like He-Man era fantasy. Which time period is that? Because I mean, as an older game, that is basically... Oh, the reflecting pool thing. No, I do know about that. I just didn't make the jump over to it. Yeah, that was bizarre. Although it was kind of fun because the reflecting pool thing was so silly, but so simple that it you know, normies can make fun of that. You don't even have to really be politically clued in. You can just be like, oh, he fucked up the reflecting pool that no one else has ever really done anything with because it's just a pool and he still managed to fuck it up. Okay. Well, everyone can make fun of that. Elder meaning more of a seniority role. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was kind of in the back of my mind, but I couldn't quite reach it because I was just looking at how pretty she is, I guess. Like, they did a great job of making the character look really pretty, because she does. That's really, really pretty. I'm glad it's this kind of pretty. You know, if it's gotta be appealing, I'm glad it's this. The constant snatched waist of every woman and model in the game, though. He was loudly proclaiming how it was being painted a beautiful American flag blue. I didn't know that bit. Oh, I didn't know it had been fucked up for a while either, but yeah. Yeah, it was funny. Didn't he do the thing that I just described? Where he was paying off mates to do the work, and by work I mean basically nothing, and that's what made it worse? Which is basically a way that modern politicians funnel enormous amounts of public funds into people that they know so that their friends get rich and then donate the money back to them. You need to Google image search the guy who did it. Okay, what's the guy's name? I know they were arresting people for standing anywhere near the pool so they could try and blame them for what went wrong with it. What a weird... I mean, it was a fun saga. You know when we... You know when that ship got stuck in the Suez Canal a few years back and we all really enjoyed it? Because it was almost like a victimless drama. Like, you couldn't imagine how that was really affecting everyone. It wasn't causing visible harm. It was just, well, this is a real problem, but it's literally just a ship that got stuck. So in a way, we can all kind of just have fun with this. All right, I'm opening this. Yes, it's okay, Twitch. I'll open this link. Show me. Oh my god! Wait, who is this guy? John J. Cafaro. Is this the guy who was contracted to fix the pool? That drove up prices in a bunch of... Yeah, but that's so far removed from, like, your general idea of everyday life, you know? It's bad, I know. I'm not saying it's not bad, but it's bad in a way that's so distant from how you feel about everything. It's like you might as well laugh at that point. Oh my god, this guy's Wikipedia... Sorry, we are going on a political tangent officially, I guess. This guy's Wikipedia entry for John J. Cafaro literally just begins, John J., quote, JJ, end quote, Cafaro is an American businessman and convicted felon, best known for his business ventures in Northeast Ohio and his controversial political involvement with US President Donald Trump. He pleaded guilty to bribing US Representative James Trafficant. That sounds like a cassette beast. In 2001. He's the son of a national mall developer who founded the Cafaro company and left $800 million to his family following his death. So this guy inherited a ton of money and then became a felon through bribery. How do you fuck up with that bad? How does your family have $800 million left in inheritance for you to do anything you want with, and you end up with a Wikipedia article that describes you as a convicted felon? You have to be... It's exceptional, that level of stupidity. You didn't have to do anything. Ask the president. Hey! Oh god, I really need my laugh track back. Or maybe a budumch. Maybe not. I don't like budumch that much. What else does this say about him? The Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool Controversy. If you've got that link, by the way, please do open it. This guy looks like... He looks like the villain in a 90s children's escapade comedy. He looks like literally someone that is manufactured to look like that. To be the bad guy in Home Alone or something. This is a guy who like owns a chain of toy stores, but he refuses to give to a toy drive for Christmas, and he ends up eating shit at the end. I'm sorry for derailing the stream, but I think this guy is worth everything. Look at the preview with a link to his daughter. Oh god, that's frightening. Hang on. I'm gonna read the controversy. Green Water Solutions, LLC. What? Why is it called that? Two separate words. Green Water Services received a no-bid $1.7 million contract from the US Department of the Interior, which is the first time I've heard those words, to refurbish the Reflecting Pools filtration system. David Schutzenhofer, who manages Trump National Golf Club Bedminster, reportedly advised on the Reflecting Pool project and was the person in contact ahead of the... Okay, that doesn't say what the controversy is. If anyone out there is like a dedicated Wikipedia person, I've never edited Wikipedia myself, but if anyone wants to, that controversy section needs details about what the controversy actually is. I love that you reflexively pronounced an umlaut that wasn't even there. Well, that's a German word, right? Well, I don't know how to say that otherwise. I derailed things with the CDC website comment. It's fine. You know what? You know why I'm doing this? It's because I don't want to fucking do Aurora Glade. I don't want to do it. I'm so scared. I hate this. I mean, I don't hate it as much as the villainy of Galrath, but it was the worst mission in the game. I don't want to do it. Americans just what? And Trump's name was German as well. There's a lot of German immigrants in American public, generally. I don't really hear about it much. Like when you're talking about American immigration, you usually hear about the Irish and I don't know, a lot of Jewish people during the war escaped over there. Zuckerberg is Sugar Mountain. And ain't that ironic? That's a joke. You know who else whose family was a German immigrant to the US? Doc Brown from Back to the Future. And that's just one of the many Back to the Future facts I know. Alright. The White Mantle have come through here and destroyed everything in their path. Where they found abandoned villages, they left behind them only sticks and stones. Where they found a shining blade, they left behind only corpses. I fear we're fighting a losing battle. We cannot afford a misstep in the ritual to open the portal to the Druid Henge of Denravi. The Druid... So, you're going to explain a bit more. This is a bit of a jump. The druids are a little more than spirits now. They have transcended this world and have become part of the jungle. So, like, what were druids? I know druid spirits are in this game and in the second one. They have a role in Draconis Mons, which is kind of related to this a little bit. I think they ran there. I think they escaped, much like German people going to America. I think the druids from this area ended up in Draconis Mons because of this whole thing. But what were they like before they were spirits? I don't think we ever like went into this. Maybe Guild Wars 3 will get into it. Someone get Halligan. Wait, why? Wait. Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot that I literally didn't connect the word druid because it means something so different in this context. I literally didn't. You know what? I watched that Mangalore gaming video on druids today for the first time. I just watched that to have something on in the background. All right, I think I've read that enough now, Elder Gretchen. Thank you. It looks like I'm gonna be on my own, so it's the mystery of the druids. They all have an attitude. Let's just keep that song going to get me through this. It's the mystery of the druids. Do 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 do. There's a bunch of spiders over there. I'm just gonna leave them. Is it this way? I think this is one mission where there's so much overhead foliage. I thought that warthog was dead. The map actually looks like you can't progress because it's reflecting what you can see from above. That song really did get in my head after that whole stream mess. Actually, I saw it before stream ended and I was like, please God, show them that song on stream. And you know what I thought going through the mystery of the druids in a far more contained fashion through that one video? I did think, you know, from a storytelling perspective, this story is like basically kind of good. Oh right, it's one of these incredibly steep routes. What's bad about the mystery of the druids? Oh wait, show me the mission objective at least. Get to the henge portal, attune before the white mantle do. Yeah, you just kind of go there. Oh God, this mission. The gameplay is what sucks, and it sucks real hard. Like as a point and click mystery, we all know how weird it is. Like, I think most people here, if you don't know it, if you happen to be hanging out and you don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about when did it come out? Like, what was it, 96 or something? I literally forgot. 90s point and click adventure game called The Mystery of the Druids. It was a German game set in Britain, in Scotland Yard, which also makes a quick visit to, I don't know, France. And it became infamous because the puzzles don't make any sense to anyone. We're very sorry. I mean, you're the only German person here, so I am gonna blame you specifically. It's really funny if you aren't playing it. It's very funny to watch people struggle with. It just doesn't follow any logic. The whole idea of a point and click is that you are supposed to attempt to solve puzzles and get things to work out by fixing on a particular result that you desire and then working out how to produce that result with the tools you have available. And that process is, I mean, that's almost sacred in video game terms. You've got to be able to attune to what a player will be able to do and how they're going to think. I've played a point and click sort of like it before. I played Dropsy. I've streamed Dropsy, and that was a sort of newer version of a point and click adventure. And And I had some criticisms of that along the same lines. But, oh, I remember this guy. Do I need to go over there? I don't know. Well, I might as well. I did have a problem with some of it because the entire gameplay is figuring out how to accomplish A to B using things you have at your disposal. And if you don't have the things at your disposal, you have to, you know, maybe figure out how you can get that thing. And sometimes when people make a game like that, they aren't able to intuit what people are going to be thinking about while they're playing it and what seems obvious to them and what they're able to mentally attach themselves. Like, there's a lot of levels to it. And Dropsy had a lot of stuff where I just genuinely wasn't going to think to do it. And that's basically the problem with too difficult adventure games. If the player can't imagine doing the action they need to do, they are not gonna be able to do the game. In German, nut, metal, and mother are the same word? Wait, what? The third Deponia game. Well, that does seem like a funny joke. Like, that is kind of insane. But Mystery of the Druids is probably the most egregious example of a bad point-and-click game only because you can't figure out what to do. There's probably people who did, but it would have taken them hours, added to which there's at least one section where what you need to do is incredibly obtuse. And I just went in a big fucking circle. I didn't need to do that. I just went in a giant circle and now I'm back where I started. Great. Great. That's great. Where the game actually encounters problems within the programming. Trying to... If you do something slightly wrong. I'm referring to the bit where you have to stand on one map and wait for something to happen, which is not something that people really are gonna think to do. If you know you need to do something, you're trying to actively think of ways to solve the problem. You might accidentally stand there, but it's not going to occur to you to stand on a map and wait for something to occur, and then you have to take a very specific set of actions in relation to the thing that just happened. And if you visit a different map nearby, which it seems like you're supposed to do, the thing that you need to wait on a map to spawn may not ever spawn. And then you get soft locked. I didn't need to come here either. This was a complete dead end. I'm struggling. I'm fucking struggling. Crossing the bridge by shuffling two boards across was a stroke of demented genius. I didn't even think about that as one of the bad examples. That wasn't so bad. That wasn't like, I think that's a funny, silly one. There's nothing. Is this nothing? Oh my god, why is that there? What is the purpose of this? I'm supposed to be stopping people. There's literally, okay, I think it's over here. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's this way. I needed to go up there. That's where it is. I recognize that. It's very funny in a probably unintended way. Oh my god, how do I get there? I should have looked at the map more. Now that I think about it, yeah, it was not in a green area. It was that big fucking... Did I even need to come this way? I mean, obviously there's a bonus here somewhere. Okay. How did I get this wrong? So that's where I came from. Is this a bridge? Do I need to circle around and take this bridge? That's not a bridge, it's a tree. Okay. Alright, so I need to go up that way, which is a trench. So I need to find a way to get down into the trench. Okay. Guys, can you kill these Thornstalkers for me? I don't know if playing Mystery of the Druids is worse than watching a stream of it. Because if you're playing it, the burden is on you to try and figure out what the hell's going on. You know what one of the worst bits was? The bit where you have to make like a sleeping potion. That was genuinely terrible. Okay, so I need to get down there. You must have to go way off the beaten track this way in order to find a way down. Because you can't jump in this game, so there's no way to, like, just fall off of the thing. What is your favorite? Guys, what's your favorite Mystery of the Druids puzzle? Tell me in the comments below. What was your favorite puzzle and why? Oh, I haven't been this way. I'm so stupid. I think everyone likes to believe that if they got to that maze bit at the end where you go in and out of holes in the wall, you'd somehow be able to do it. I don't know. Like, I can't imagine them playtesting it. They probably ran the game through and were like, well, I managed to do it. Not remembering that, you know, they did it with knowledge of the game. You need to bring people in who are playing it blind and see whether they can do it at all, which is what Valve does. And I mean, there's a reason why everyone really gels well with Valve games. They notice when gameplay doesn't work for people. Okay, so this is teaching us the mechanic of... Oh yeah, I remember this. These guys give you the bonus, I think. Hello. Do you think the whole thing about druids appearing as the spirits of... Oh my god, what are these things called? They're thorn hearts. Do you think the whole thing about the druids being a ghostly... Claude, please. I didn't even read anything it said. I didn't even read anything. Do you think it's because they needed some sort of model to be a druid spirit and they just picked the Thornheart one that they had and made it see-through and blue? Because they didn't want to make a whole new model for this and they just picked something that felt like it had a natural connection. And we've just been redoing that ever since. Do you think that's what happened? Alright, attune the thorn pedestal to clear the vine gate. So you take the crystal... There's a lot of steps to this. And there's ads soon. And then I put it in here, and now it's blue. Does that... Oh, that clears... Does it clear this? I thought you portaled through it. I guess... Nope, okay. Whoop. There's a lot of weird things. I mean, not even just the fact that they mysteriously pronounce pizza wrong. I can't watch the secondary antagonist Lowry without thinking... You expect him to not sound like that. He sounds like a very generic, masculine South Londoner, and given what his whole thing, it just doesn't seem like the kind of voice you would give a guy like that. There's nothing wrong with the voice, it's just on that character. But at the same time, this was made in an era before things were really streamlined in certain ways, so I can't help but think, isn't it just kind of interesting that they did something you wouldn't expect just this once? I don't know. All right, well, I think we've just about made it. I think I'm on the right track because I'm going to go up here and then I will make it there. But it is also ad time again. So let me take you guys back to the shiny zone. I'm going to fire off ads. We'll have 3 minutes of a quick break if you need to, like, piss or something. Oh, jeez. Well, it's nearly the week. It is the weekend. Nearly. It is the weekend. Is anyone excited to get up to anything this weekend? Is anyone gonna play Mystery of the Druids? You know what? I should camp out on the Twitch page for Mystery of the Druids and just see if anyone comes up as playing it. In fact, I'm gonna do that right now. Just to feel something. In fact, wait, are there any Mystery of the Druid fanfics on AO3? I think 5 and Veg probably mentioned this. Twitch Mystery of the Druids. I'm just curious, is anyone... Yes, I have visited this directory before. No, nobody is currently streaming Mystery of the Druids right now. I wonder how often someone does. I wonder if my friend streaming it was the most popular stream of that game that's ever been done. Unless like a really big channel did it, like, I don't know, Games Done Quick or something. I for one am shocked that no one's currently streaming it. I wonder if you camp out. I wonder how often something does pop up as a playthrough. I wonder if people give up partway through. I wonder how many people hit the soft lock without realizing the salt bucket thing is genuinely a crime in terms of expecting people to do that. It's awful. It's probably one of the worst. But oh yeah, I forgot what I was saying. What I was saying is that the storyline itself is fine in the sense that, I mean, it works. There's nothing about it that you can go, this is a direct and distinct flaw. I don't think. The gameplay is fucking atrocious, but the plot beats themselves are like fine. Like, it's kind of a satire of British mystery solving. That's fine. The main character is clearly he's kind of a psychopath in a way. The people who work with him treat him with complete disdain, and then you get to learn why, and it's because he's both pathetic and immoral. There's a joke about him eating so much pizza that there are pizza boxes stacked up in his office. Sorry, pizza. And he goes through like a carton of cigarettes a week. And it all paints a picture of a character that's really genuinely unlikable. And I think that's interesting. There's no reason why a point-and-click character would need to be likable, aside from, like, you gotta keep the person playing, but if it's interesting enough, they will. So I find that an interesting choice to make at the very least, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the fact that he has a difficult time proceeding in his investigation because no one wants to help him because they don't like him makes sense. And then the general plot, like, yes, it's a wacky thing that devolves into magic, and yes, it's very unserious, but the actual sequence of actions, I guess, makes sense. They go back in time to prevent a disaster from happening, sure. They get embroiled in the druids themselves 1,000 years ago, sure. For some reason, they don't just try and murder the druid, the head druid that they have access to. That bit is a bit, I don't know. But, I don't know, it sets up something, and then it does it. It could have been better, Sure. Let me head back in. I can like natter about this while I routinely run through this mission if I can. How much brain power am I gonna need? I'm not sure. So the crux of the story is you have to stop these druids from doing their ritual to empower a bunch of babies with the powers who will then live for the next 1,000 years before bringing apart Armageddon. I'm pretty sure that's the basis of the plot, I think. And you stop them from doing that by going back in time to when they started doing that ritual, and in previous interaction with them, you forced the head druid to promise that no harm would come to you or your companion, which then becomes that's how you win. You force him to violate his oath while they're doing the ritual at the end of the game. You intentionally stab your companion, which violates the oath he made to not let any harm come to either of you. And this is funny in several ways. One being that he doesn't even cause the druid himself doesn't cause the harm. Apparently, by promising that no harm would come to either of the two of you in his quest to destroy the world, that means no harm can come outside of even his own influence. Like, that's kind of insane, but at the same time, it's a setup and payoff. Like, okay, sure. Sure, why not? I guess that's functionally coherent. He's very bad at oaths, I think. The other weird thing that's weird about it is that when they make that oath, Halligan insists that he is swearing on his honor, and yet the oath, you know, still proves to be his undoing. Like, I think when he violates the oath, he forcibly kills himself, thus rendering the ritual completely... Does this guy speak? I don't know. I think he just, like, offs himself. But that wasn't the term of the agreement. He said swear on your honor. Now, doesn't that just mean that if it's violated, your honor itself is no longer worth anything? That's what that means, right? He didn't say swear on your identity as a druid. I don't know how honor factors into this. It's just a weirdly cliche thing for him to say. Yeah, what? Everybody knows this? And the other thing is, they could have said, druids are strict followers of Bushido. Wait, what have I done wrong? Are there two pedestals? There are two. Oh, okay. This is teaching me that I have to change the red thing to a blue thing. Where is the... have you made... oh, he's made another crystal. Thank you. When they make that agreement and he says, you have to promise on your honor, whatever that means, that no harm will come to his potential girlfriend or himself. Now, if they wanted it to make more sense, what he should have done, in my opinion, is to say you have to promise on your honor that no harm will come to whatever her name is, just the woman, just the secondary character, not himself, because it solves a problem. And oh god, we're here, we have to do this now. This fucking sucks. I'm sorry, I don't like this. You have to put this into the pedestal and turn them all blue before the mantle turn them all red. And they've already done that one, which means I have to send some of my characters over there and some of them over there, and then hope that it worked. Now, is this where I get another one? Does this generate another crystal? It does. Hopefully, those people protecting it will do their job and kill people who come by. Because you can literally lose. You can lose this mission, and then and you just lose. You literally have to restart if they manage to turn every one of them red. And I've left that one undefended while I change this one, so I really did not do this very well. Okay, that one's now blue. Now I'm hoping I can defend this one myself. What was I saying? Halligan should have said just his female companion. Come here, come here, come here. Don't... Actually, I can probably change that back pretty easily. I'll just change it back. Because it makes the fact that he then stabs her to like win the game make way more sense. He could have stabbed himself for the same result and doesn't, but the fact that he stabs her is hilariously selfish. And he clearly doesn't realize that he can like heal her, because he doesn't think of that until he goes, oh wait, I have mistletoe in my pocket. Like, he wasn't thinking about healing her afterwards. He just stabs her. So if he had done something that felt more altruistic, if he hadn't included himself in the oath, it would have seemed like he was doing a good deed and trying to protect her. We did it. I can't believe I did. I was so scared. So he would have come off as if he'd had a character arc and learned to be a bit more selfless by only saying, promise you won't harm her. And then he would have had to harm her in order to fulfill the requirement to end the game. But he didn't, so he could have stabbed himself, which leaves us thinking, it's not very heroic of him. But yes, normal. I do definitely admit that he is consistent across the game as being an asshole. And we're supposed to believe that she'd go out with him, apparently. And that's maybe the most... The weirdest thing we are expected to believe is that a woman would be spending time with him, have learned a little bit about his character, been stabbed by him, and then being like, yeah, we can go on a date. We can go to that pizza place that you have a tab at that you're not paying. They don't... I don't think they put any work into making that believable. They not that it's the main focus of a point-and-click puzzle game, but there's no moment where they seem to like enjoy each other's company, I don't think. We're just supposed to see that Halligan is an admittedly asshole-ish, unliked, bad with money, selfish, petty kind of guy, and that some woman just goes, yeah, sure thing, whatever. A woman who is like genuinely great in her field. That's the hero's journey when you return home unchanged. Well, I guess the change that happened was that he is now... He's now wanted for attempted murder of a homeless guy, and he stabbed someone. So his change is that he's now got more... He should have guilt about things. I don't know. I assume this is what The Boys is like. That's a fun read. I don't know. I've only seen The Boys in like gift sets and things. Very smart people do silly things. True. Maybe the hero's journey was actually whatever her name is, going on a journey of abandoning her principles and getting brain damage and going out with him. Actually, the funniest bit about it, maybe, is that scene a pre-rendered cutscene that was difficult to make back then, where he's inducted into the druids by... He's kind of brainwashed. We know he's kind of brainwashed. We know he is because they use him to go and strangle whatever her name was. Sorry, I genuinely can't remember his name. So that something happens to brainwash him, which apparently they have the ability to do. So we know something is up with him when he is eating human flesh at that dining table. But you don't know that at the time. You haven't been shown the information that he is brainwashed or in some way controlled. So although he is, and it does kind of make sense, you don't know that he is. So in the cutscene, you just see the guy, the evil old dude who is clearly a villain, sits down with his entourage of bastards, and they're all eating the flesh of a guy that Halligan just saw them murdering. And they say to him, hey, we're having our usual druid meeting. We get all our powers from eating human flesh. You're eating human flesh right now. And then it focuses back on Halligan and he just keeps eating it. He doesn't say anything. He just puts more of it in his mouth after hearing the admission of what it... Like, he didn't even have to figure it out. They say it right to his face and he keeps eating it and you don't know that he's under some sort of control.
Well done.
It's really funny.
Now we have a safe place from which to strike back at the White Mantle. Today, the tides have been turned.
It's funny, I didn't remember if
Come on.
Venia existed as a
The old
character
Druid
at
temple
all.
should be just over the waterfall. It's time to take a look at our new home.
Okay. What if Brent Halligan is attuned to every data point? What does that come from again? I don't remember.
A new chapter now lies open for Tyria.
Oh shit, is that
The
Glint?
page has been turned, and the conflict begins in earnest. All is as I have foreseen.
It is Glint! I didn't remember she'd said this. Oh, that was Sherlock. I kind of thought it was. Ugh. I prefer Brent Halligan as a detective over BBC Sherlock any day. And you can quote me on that. Say something funny about that so we can make it a raid message. He's like, I'm so smart, I figured it out by accident. I wouldn't have thought it was possible to fuck up a Sherlock adaptation as bad as they did. Sherlock is really tightly written in the original books, and I wouldn't have thought it was possible to take that and just like splatter it all over the floor. And somehow they managed. And that's more impressive than anything else they actually did. What if there was a slow motion explosion? Well, I guess I can't really criticize that because Sherlock Holmes does canonically use a whole bunch of like high octane fun explosive spectacle stuff. It does do that. Like there's boat chases and shit. It was supposed to be exciting. It's just so silly. It's just, oh my god. Nowadays, whenever I'm doing something where I'm like, okay, this doesn't seem to make much sense. You know how earlier I was talking about how I badly wanted Guild Wars 3 to be based in the future so that we could take the setup plot points from Skywatch Archipelago with all those slightly random fictional fractals that got turned into reality that has like massive consequences for several things. And I was like, Guild Wars 3 is probably going to be set after this, and what they're doing now is they're setting up the points that 3 will build from. Like, they want to have dwarves back. They've invented a way to return dwarves to a living state so they can have them as potentially a playable race in 3, or at least some sort of, you know, returning as pivotal peoples in the narrative. And they've done that. They set it up, and now they can go and take that, and then they can skip a few hundred years, and we can come back in. It can be like, well, dwarves have reestablished their society. They're back in play. I thought that's what's happening. That's not what they're doing. They're doing a prequel where maybe there are dwarves, and they're fine because they just existed back then. So Skywatch Archipelago doesn't mean anything, but I'm sitting there, like, putting these points together, like, yeah, that has to be it. That's why it's going to be a sequel. It's going to be a time skip. And the fact that Zin is there means he can, like, throw society, maybe just Asuran, like, way into the future. So when they do the sequel, there could be massive amounts of insane magic technology lying around because of that. And then it didn't turn out that was right. And then you're going, okay, well, maybe Vlox is doing something in the present that's gonna, like, affect the past, so things can be sent back in time. And at that point, you're doing Sherlock Secret Season 4 or whatever it was, Season 5, the secret good ending of Sherlock. And I always think, what if people were small again? And I'm always thinking that. My brain always goes there. It's like, is it likely that that is actually being implied in this work of fiction, or are you doing secret good episode of Sherlock? Are you just imagining something that you want to happen and being like, no, they're hiding it so it'll be a surprise when it's good? And that's like the way that I phrase every time I think of it, and I have to be like, no, I'm making up a secret Sherlock episode again. They're not gonna do that. Anytime you find yourself extrapolating too many things and saying, no, they want you to think this because they're going to turn back and go, aha, what a surprise. Actually, we're going to use this. No, it's secret Sherlock episode. It won't happen. It's never going to happen. Not unless I get to work there. If they were making another game and they needed to split their team, they should have hired more people, including me. Because I've played this one now. I know what I'm talking about. What is this giant glowing light exactly? I don't recognize what that is. After H-Bomb made that video, YouTube was suggesting watching Sherlock Season 5 as a streaming act. That is funny. I should rewatch... Actually, no. I've rewatched that way too recently. A fucking boomerang. Oh, someone down there has a quest. I love these things. These tiered fountains. A, they look real cool and they're neat and it's a real fun little set piece. And B, they're in the second game. As soon as I saw this in the first night, I was like, oh, they came from this. They're still here in Brisbane Wildlands and they look a bit fucked up, but it's like, oh, that was that's what it was. It was a reference to this. Okay, let's just pick these quests up. I'll do them like whenever.
Friend.
I remember you. I think this is the main quest. Yes. Because it was mentioning Evenia. Why is this skills person always the one who's got stuff? Oh. Okay, she decided she didn't want to give me the quest. Boomerang! Boomerang! Rang, rang, rang. Yeah, but didn't they put a bunch of reverb on it? Or did H-Bomb do that? I don't remember anymore. I watched Sherlock when it was current. Oh my god, that's her pet. Her pet is like a puma or something named Bug. He's level 5. It's a Bug. And there's another one. There's a wombat? Oh no, it's a big rat named Freya. I love that. I love that the NPCs have got their own pets. Oh, H-Bomb did it. Okay, it's slightly less embarrassing. I don't see... Another one. I didn't realize how many rangers were here. How did they write that? They were... I don't know. Is there a term for when a writer's room just gets into so much of an agreement with themselves they can't perceive how stupid what they're writing is? They really thought that the boomerang thing was a fun and clever mystery to solve. Like, I don't think that was a real Sherlock Holmes thing, right? They just invented that to use in the beginning of the episode. It was the one with... What's her name? The one with the woman in it. That's based on Scandal in Belgravia. That's the real one, right? And they changed it so that she sucks. Like, I don't think... Did H-Bomb even go into it? No, he did. He did go into it. And he's good at pointing this out. Bohemia is the real one. Thank you. I couldn't remember... Because I know they're... Belgravia is the one? Is it? Because, okay, the whole idea is Okay, I need to Google something. What the hell is Bohemia? I don't know what it is besides Bohemian Rhapsody. What is Bohemia? It's a region in the Czech Republic. Okay. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Wow. So I knew it was a place because I know the purpose of the title, but there's also a video for Kingdom Come Deliverance on here. I knew the purpose of the title, but I hadn't actually looked this up, and I've only ever actually heard of Bohemia in Bohemian Rhapsody and the bit in Moulin Rouge where they describe themselves as, what is it? Bohemian revolutionaries or whatever. The term Bohemian, which has its own meaning. But I know the purpose of Scandal in Bohemia is that the king of Bohemia is the one who commissions Sherlock to solve the mystery being the scandal he's gonna be embroiled in if they can't recover controversial photos or something of him. Yeah, so that's what they did. They changed it in BBC Sherlock to Scandal in Belgravia because Belgravia is a borough in London, and I think I've been there. So it basically it replaced the whole King of Bohemia needing help to something happening in Belgravia in London. And then they changed it so that instead of... Sorry, what's her name? What's the Sherlock... it begins with an A. What was it? Sherlock Holmes... Irene, sorry. A was her last name. They changed Irene, so instead of her being the person who is the target of the mystery, who is causing the scandal because she's the one who has or took the photos of the king, but she didn't actually do anything wrong. Sorry, I'm just talking about Sherlock Holmes now. It's too close to end time for me to pick up the next quest, so that's what we get. She's the one who has the stuff, and Sherlock has to figure out that she has it and then get it off her, return the photos to the king so that he doesn't end up in a scandal, which is going to... I think he was photographed with another woman, but he's going to be married to someone else, and this matters because he's a king, so it's like his royal family thing, and he doesn't want to be embarrassed by having had photos taken of him with another woman, so he needs Sherlock to get them back. And Irene... I think either has the photos or took the photos, and she has to keep the hold of them so she has like leverage, but she didn't do anything wrong. She's just in a position where she could expose a guy who did adultery, but she didn't do anything wrong at any point in that, I don't think. And Sherlock is the guy who is, you know, trying to steal them off of her, so he's kind of the guy doing the thing in the wrong here, but the whole thing is formulated so she outsmarts him. I think it all works out, but there's a wolf here too. What's the wolf's... The wolf's name is Tinker. Is everyone here a ranger? That's real cute. Hey, Tinker. Anyway, the BBC one changed it so that Irene doesn't outsmart Sherlock anymore, which was the whole point of her character. The whole point was that he becomes slightly less sexist because he recognizes that at least one woman in the world was able to work on his level. And, she outsmarts him because she wants to disappear and go and marry someone. Yeah, she just wants to end up somewhere where she can be happy. At no point was there a potential love story between them, which makes it even stronger because it means that the respect Sherlock gains is based purely on her characterization. And it works really well, I think. I mean, I haven't read it personally, but the idea of it sounds pretty good. Sherlock is the one who has character development. He's the one operating on, if there is a moral scale, the bad side of things, because he's working for the purposes of power against someone who is far more powerless and hasn't done anything actually that was any wrongdoing. She hasn't, I don't think she stole anything. I think it's just that the king doesn't want to be embarrassed. So it's all very carefully constructed to place her in a position that is both blameless and wanting to do something also blameless, and Sherlock has to work against that, but he learns a lesson. Crucially, he learns a lesson. And in the BBC one, they were like, what if she was naked? And and she outsmarted Sherlock because she didn't have any clues he could look at because she's naked. Stephen Moffat should go to hell, actually. There are multiple videos analysing the fact that BBC Sherlock never utilises deductive reasoning the entire show. It's so sad. It's so awful. Like, they invented that thing where they put technological alerts and text and stuff on the screen, which was vaguely interesting, and then the whole thing rode on the back of that, distracting everyone from the fact that he wasn't actually solving any mysteries. And I owe an apology to that other version of Sherlock that was the elementary version. I said things online about that. I was like, oh, this isn't right. Why'd they do it like that? And I was completely and utterly wrong. I was young at the time when that came out. And I didn't watch it. Maybe I should look that up. But they made changes to it that I was like, oh my god, they changed that. They shouldn't have done that. No, it was fine. They're allowed to adapt it in their own way. And I think they did use like deductive stuff in it. And it was obviously way better than what BBC Sherlock ended up being. Stephen Moffat needs... I shouldn't say that on Twitch. Stephen Moffat should be trapped in Minecraft forever, where he can't hurt us anymore. Watson does things in that one. It's a funny thing what you do with Watson, isn't it? Because Watson's purpose in the book is a lot more vital. Like, as a book... well, not a book, as a written piece of fiction, that role is has a distinct purpose to it. But when you're doing it for television, it's kind of not really as much of a thing. So changing the role of Watson to adapt it like that way is probably a good idea. Yeah, that's also true, Blockhead. It's like, I don't know. The core of this for me, that I didn't even watch. I've never really watched Doctor Who, but people said he made good episodes of that. Maybe he did, but he seemed to manage to trick everyone into thinking that he was able to write really great long episodes of television. And I know H-Bomb has gone over this to a fine point and explained everything about how nonsense that is, but like, sorry, what was my point? The way that he decided to write Irene Adler was to see that there was a storyline in which a woman was able to gain the upper hand over Sherlock Holmes, and in so doing, she taught him that he shouldn't underestimate women. Simple. That's the story is just pretty much summed up in its conceptual stage, and then all the other details are the fun of reading through the story. And Moffat saw that and he went, "Oh, a story that revolves around a woman. I can adapt that into my TV show, and I can make it so she has no clothes on." And you know that is like the inception point that he had. He didn't think, I'm going to respect the source material. He didn't want to keep the vibe of how that worked in the original. Probably his first thought about that was, what if she can evade Sherlock's deductive reasoning, by not wearing clothes? And it's just like, why does this keep happening? Why do we have to watch things made by people who seem to think that everything's gotta appeal to them pornographically? Like, they can't just go and look that up online after they write a good episode of something. No, it's gotta be in everything. Sorry, I'm gonna get angry. Sorry. Look at my character's snatched ass waist. Fucking hell. There's no insert recommendation for oh, that's the rat again. Sorry, I thought it was like a albino panda. Also, what if she was just some guy's minion and fails ultimately? What if she had an entire scene about how she was unable to remain in control of her own privacy because she fucked up in making her a password for her mobile phone, and Sherlock was able to deduce what her password was, and it was like how many characters is it? Like 6? And he figures that out, and it completely humiliates her. Like, this is genuinely something written by a guy who hates women. I'm sorry to lay it out in just such definite terms, but I don't think it's possible to like look at what he turned that into and not feel like he hates women. And yeah, Blockhead, I think that's sometimes true. I think that's why, I mean, obviously anyone who's in a position of power, that comes with the responsibility of not abusing the power you have. And I mean very literally parents, teachers, politicians. You get power over people, you have to be trusted with it, or you cannot have that job. And that's why a lot of things don't work out a lot of the time. He also hates the Sherlock Holmes stories. Why did he adapt it? Why did he do any of this? Why did he turn the Hound of the Baskervilles into a drug trip? What is wrong with him? Anyway, when you are a director or a writer, or you have control over what the actors will do when you've employed them, and you have a responsibility. You know what I mean? To be writing something for them to approach for artistic value, not so that you can like trick someone into being appealing to you. That's not why they're there, and it's genuinely an abuse of your position to do. I don't know why we've gotten so deep in this one. This is the kind of thing I will happily talk about, but I'm always like, oh my god, is anyone here to who wants to come to Pi's channel and talk about sexism in Sherlock Holmes? I like this stuff. I'm not even very well read about it. I've only read like 2 Sherlock Holmes stories, I think. Was it even 2? I've got a big book of it somewhere. I should definitely like go through it. The originals are real good. They're real good. I mean, like, even, like, you can say, like, for the time it's pretty good, but Scandal in Bohemia is genuinely a good take on stuff for its time. And we didn't even mention the rampant queer baiting they put in that, and we didn't mention the fact that they made a detective story where they injected a cliffhanger mystery about Sherlock himself dying. And then they encouraged their enormous fandom to try and deduce how it was done, which would have been a good use of their format to take the advantage of a break between seasons to get people to deduce a mystery of their own is a great idea. And then in the episode that began the next series, they said, A, it doesn't matter how he did it, and B, sorry, I had to allow that message. Automod doesn't like using the word queer baiting. B, they put an audience stand-in into the program, like a bunch of what looked like insane conspiracy nuts who were all making theories about how, to them, the real person Sherlock hadn't died, and then made fun of them. I know H-Bomb went over this, but good God, the absolute derision for the people who were watching your program. If I wish for anything in my own creative work, like I wouldn't want to wish that I was necessarily popular. I want to wish that I never treat people who are engaging with my work with that kind of absolute disdain. It is so disgusting to do something like that. You don't have to worship your fans. You don't have to do fan service for them. You don't actually have to acknowledge them in any way. But acknowledging them to say, hey, people who are engaging with our work and trying to come up with reasons how this happened, they're stupid as hell, and we're gonna put them in an episode and make them look really crazy, and it's so awful. Like, maybe I'm taking it hard because I've been a fan of things, but my god, how up your own ass do you have to be to do that? His performance of Hamlet is weird. Wait, who? Oh, Andrew Scott. Yeah, no, he's a great actor. I think he did a really good job acting the part. Yeah, no, he's really good. I haven't seen him in Hamlet. I think sex does sell, but also we've gotten to the point that people are tired of it. That's a can of worms I'm not going to open right now, because I know there's been some back and forth where if you say that you're tired of things being over-sexualized, people... There's a defensive viewpoint where people are like, look, there is a purpose to having it in fiction, which I do agree with, but at the same time, I personally am so tired of it. It has gotten to such a point of oversaturation. I don't know how people enjoy this anymore. I don't want, like, genuinely, if anyone asks me for advice on anything, if you're making any kind of fiction, I'm just like, I don't care. I don't even, not that I don't want sex in it. I don't want it to be sexy. I don't want any viewpoint on this to be from the point of view of anything being attractive. I want you to make, like, just normal people. Even this game I'm playing right now, I know it's kind of old and it doesn't, I don't think it deserves being criticized at this point in time, because they wouldn't make this company wouldn't make the game the same way now. This is a product of its time sort of game, but look at, like, these women. Every woman looks like this. It's not the worst, not by a long shot, but you gotta look like this. All the men look kind of normal, but there's a lot they're missing out in the full scope of human appearance. You could definitely say that. I don't think we've made a lot of ground trying to get games to do that, but I also play several Chinese gacha games with anime styling, and in those cases I am absolutely subjecting myself to things that enrage me, and that's basically on me at that point. But my god, it's like you can't have fun with anything in that arena without running into, like, oh my god, the simplest thing of all. You know what, Genshin has got character models that are skinny, and then they have a character model in the game for chubby people. Like, barely chubby, like normal, with a little bit of weight on. And they're only ever used for NPCs. They've got the model, they've got it rigged, they could use that for a playable character. They never will, but they could with abundant ease. And we know why they won't do that, and there's no hoping for that, but that just kind of goes to show, I don't know. This is so absurdly thin. It's idealized, and I feel like it's idealized in a way that appeals to the players, not just men. Like yeah, as a girl, I want to feel like I'm capable and doing backflips. It's not realistic, sure. I can get behind it in a way. At least I've got a full set of clothing on. I like that about it. Oh gosh, sorry, I got off track. I need to check whether we're raiding in just yet. Oh, and it's going to be exciting because Veggie Beetle Tail is going to finish off the game from yesterday. What is it? Red Strings Club, and then after that they're doing Stanley Parable. I'm not sure how long Red Strings Club will take. I sat on the beginning of Stanley Parable. I don't know if I'll be able to stay up late enough to join in a second one, but I will. Oh, 5 wants to save Stanley Parable for when Veg gets back. Oh, okay, so they're just doing Red Strings Club. Okay, so we're raiding into whatever Red Strings Club is. So once they start that, we'll head in. I missed something up there. I'm here to hear you talk about stuff because you're good at putting your thoughts together. Thank you. Like, genuinely, if there's anything I could be known for, I want it to be that. So that is it. I really do take that as, like, the biggest possible compliment. I do really try to say things in a way that is not cliche and that I've constructed myself into a decent explanation of how I'm thinking. I think you can do whatever you want as long as, crucially, it's good. That's a pretty good way to put it. Yeah, because you can just extend it's good to anything in that sense. So yeah, it's vague, but it works. There is a person who is in my D&D group who is oddly stubborn about that sort of thing. Lots of eye-rolling takes. Which directions you mean they're stubborn about it? Like, doesn't want things to be sexualized? I don't know personally how bad D&D is at that, but D&D is also a little bit of a product of its time, wouldn't you say? It's coming off of, you know, the tropes it established, which are a little bit old by today's standards. Is Valhalla really that bad? I haven't played it, and I neither have seen people stream it, but I will say I knew of Valhalla only because I'd seen people say it sucked. So I can't give any personal feedback, but yeah, the only thing I knew about it was people being like, "Oh, I know it's cringe in some way." From what I understand, I think when Version 5 streamed it, they didn't consider it to be like a great game. Maybe that's just me from what I heard. Super defensive about every bit of sexualization and makes every tired argument to say it's totally not about how I think it's sexy. Oh, so you mean like that? Oh, yeah, I'm still getting my head around. But it's someone who is making everything sexualized and then being like, no, it's she needs to breathe through her skin. God, I'm so no, I can't say that. I can't say that on stream. There are some people that I know who are very outspoken about this kind of thing, and I do not blame them, but I do understand how it comes off feeling aggressive when you just externalize how tiring it is to be subject to the id of masculinity in creative works to a constant degree. I'm going to video game myself. She breathes through her skin. I feel like we should have. Oh no, I might get in trouble for this. I don't know. I don't want to be so opinionated. I'm self-censoring out of fear. But I don't get the hype about Kojima. I really don't. I'm sorry. I haven't played any of his games, so I don't know exactly. But the stuff I hear about like that, it's like, dude, why? Unless I'm mistaken, that was Kojima like saying that, right? I mean, it's good to be weird, but at the same time, yeah, exactly. You said the same thing. I appreciate he gets weird with it, but like, okay. I didn't actually pick up on what the Red String Club is about. You can fill me in just before we raid in if anyone was in the previous stream for it. It had pixel art, which looked interesting. A bunch of misses in there too. Yeah, and they're all dead. But oh god. I need to fucking apply myself and get a sound reactive thing so I can play a laugh track instead of doing it myself. In Revengeance, when they take the time to point out how a cyborg girl presumably spent millions on custom-made robo-tits, that made me chuckle. We had robo-tits. You know what's funny? Guild Wars 2 had these robots made by a female inventor with a loose grasp on reality, and there was no reason. They looked like humans for a reason, but there was no reason for them to look kind of sexified. Like they had kind of like the tummy line on a slender stomach that you would see, and they had big robot boobs, and that was a funny one, because I don't really. I mean, I would have disagreed with it on like a basic level, but there was no in-universe reason really given for it. But the whole thing was that these robots rebelled against what they were supposed to be doing. They got hacked, by the engineer. They weren't made by the engineer. They were made by humans as a sort of defense force, and then they got hacked by the absurd engineer person. And when they got hacked into being antagonistic, they changed how they look and move. So they did like a oh, what is it? You know how Transformers have an anthro form and then they turn into a car and that's the whole thing. That's what the toy does. You know that? They do that. They like have a humanoid looking form that they're supposed to have, but then when they got their circuits hacked by this genius lady, she turned them into killing machines and they reformat their bodies so that they walk like spiders and they just have like a human head, and the boobs are kind of on the bottom and they have like a defined ass plate that kind of sticks up on the side, and when they die the ass is like in the air, and I genuinely find that like such a funny design decision that I cannot dislike it. Like, yes, it was fun and sexy. I guess humans might do that. And then they got hacked and now they die looking like a pile of metal with an ass placed on the top. Like the fact that it got subsumed into something absurd, I just think is fun. And then they did have the Twisted Marionette, which was a map-wide boss fight, and that had big boobs because that was the same robot model, but it was just massive. It was massive. Hang on, can I bring it up on screen? Hang on. Twisted Marionette. Where's the original historical appearance? Yeah, this one. Hang on, give me a second. Let me just pop this up. Where'd I put it? There it is. So this was what it looked like. It had, you know, a curvy inwards like stomach, a big ass, thighs. The face clearly has like a feminine kind of appearance, and these massive tits for no reason. This is what it used to look like. And it's huge. This is massive. It's enormous. And then it got changed. The content was temporary, and then it came back again. And when it came back for a permanent release where you could continue to play it forever, they changed it so it's way less sexualized. It's still clearly based on a human woman, but the tits were gone. This is in Guild Wars 2. I was there for the original release. I didn't think that much of it. Like, it just seemed kind of absurd because it was so extreme. Like, they were just giant metal tits, and it's like, oh, but I mean, okay. They were also doing the twisted ones that turned into walking spiders, and it was just like, you know, sure. And then they removed the tits completely, and I was like, they had to have internal conversations about this. They had to have people sit down and go, okay, when we re-release this, we can actually fix that. So it's not quite as egregious. So it doesn't stand out so much that this thing has massive boobas. And then they did. And it's like, okay. Was it necessary? Did it help? I mean, maybe it was just avoiding controversy, but I think it's just kind of funny. It reminds me when someone reprogrammed one of those Boston Dynamics robots to run around like a spider. That's probably kind of what it looks like. I honestly, the animation, I don't know if I could find it right now, but the pre-made animation where the humanoid robot turns into the horrible one walking on like its back legs, it's kind of horrific. It's kind of like out of a horror film. That animation of it turning it from one into the other is one of my favorite animations in the whole game. It's really, really good. Yeah, giant robot lady got a reduction. Top surgery. Yep, that's what happened. I think you can also see it. No, you can't see it. There's a fractal. The Nightmare Fractal puts you against a very, very big robot lady, and she's in the corrupted form from the beginning. So they do a different animation where they kind of pull themselves out of the ground in spider form, but the arms and legs are just so interchangeable. It genuinely feels like what a robot like that would do. One that can use all of its body to reconstitute itself at any time. It's not in any kind of fixed form, and that takes so much effort and planning to pull off. I'm kind of in awe of that. Anyway, maybe I'll show that somehow at some point, and maybe I'll find a gif for next time. It's very good. There are some animation reels for Guild Wars 2 that to showcase what people made for their like animation reel, and they're really good all the time. Especially Living Story's pretty good. Heart of Thorns era is some great animation. It's not often that I would be able to pinpoint a segment of time that a game had better animation, but the Heart of Thorns people were just off the chain. Anyway, I think that's enough yapping for now. I'm going to send you guys to watch the Red Strings Club, which is apparently like if Valhalla didn't suck. That's not me saying it. It's just what people are talking about. What is the raid message? You cannot leave until we pick a raid message. Was there anything about Sherlock that I can quote? Because talking about Sherlock for like half an hour was pretty fun. What about the boomerang thing? No, not that. Yeah, you know what? Fine. I'm gonna make it part of that. I'm not gonna put girl, so it's a little bit more mysterious. Robot got top surgery. We'll just yell that, and we're heading into Veggie BL Tail. There we go. And I'm gonna sign off. There's my blue sky. If anyone wants to check what I'm up to and when I'm streaming next, I will be streaming on Sunday evening. No, it's not evening. Earlier than this on Sunday. We're having fun raising 2 children in The Sims. Come along and help me do that. And you can pitch in to guide their lives and the people they will become. We've got siblings. One of them has magical powers. The other one doesn't. The one that doesn't have magical powers managed to disappear into the walls for an entire stream. We couldn't find them. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you Blockhead. Thank you for being here with me today. We'll do more of this next week. I'm continuing this game. Please jump in and play along with me in game if you would like. And hopefully we'll have Dwagon back a little bit too, because they're very fun to have alongside. Anyway, I'm gonna send you on off for now, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.